me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me a lot, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask heaven. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this bad at board games. Whole world clueless, selling their soul for roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge to tell her? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
And what is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Got the homie Carter presents.
I'm not here.
He is not here. In the building. Welcome to episode 196 of the Blerd Cave, the #1 comic book news stream on this or any other Earth in the multiverse, which you can also catch on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, iHeartRadio, a million other places. Make sure if you are one of Earth's mightiest listeners, or you are going to become one, make sure you leave us a rating, because those help us find more listeners like yourself. We are joined today by a very special guest. And that guest is one of my homies, Judah Radd. Welcome to the show.
Ready? Thank you.
It's okay. It's okay. He does not bite, and y'all don't either.
Try not
Gotta
to.
give him the Dumbledore clap. You gotta do that one.
Wait, are we still allowed to do that?
Oh no, that's the one thing I remember from that Harry Potter movie. Is just I thought that was so ugly the way Dumbledore did that when he was clapping for people.
I don't know.
Actually seen a Harry Potter movie before.
Honestly, you haven't missed anything. You haven't missed much, man. It's one of those things. Like, I feel like if it's one of those cultural touchstones that, like, I feel like if you didn't experience it when it was like a thing,
Yeah.
you don't have to. Like, don't go out of your way to go, like, find the magic in that thing. It's just
You had to be there.
yeah, you had to be there at the time. Like, I feel like that's one of those phenomenon that, like, it doesn't hold the same glory that that you would normally find. Yeah, it's like, yeah, like I just happened to be there at the time. But no.
Off the list.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like, you know what? Go read those Percy Jackson books. There you go. They're good, clean, and wholesome, right?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I never know who is or is not being canceled at the time, so I'm not gonna. I'm scared to even endorse the Percy Jackson books now. I'm scared.
Okay, I'm happy you backtrack. Thank you. I'm happy you brought it back.
I'm scared now because now we're probably gonna get canceled. Well, actually, Rick Riordan, he's a known racist. And like, whoa, I didn't know. No, I didn't know. Well, I'm not saying he is. I don't know what his politics are. Or
Here
lack
first,
thereof.
folks.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing everybody's gonna be like, man, I heard Rick Riordan's a whole racist. Look, these are jokes, y'all. It's jokes. It's just jokes. Anyway, you know what ain't jokes? This is what ain't jokes. What ain't jokes is that Roybot gifted a membership here in the chat, and thank you for that. Look at that. Just I wish I need to have things for when people gift stuff, because it's always a good time. Let's see here. There we go. There's my lower thirds, because I'm a professional. We've also got Roybot coming in with the $10. Says, welcome morning folk. I cannot wait for the talking time we about to have here. Look, man, that's because it's our thing. It's our place to do the thing. We also got the homie Gokhan Shuri's baby's father with a $5 super chat. Says, congratulations to De La Soul finally getting paid for their music. I just hate that we had to lose 1/3 of the group to get it. Hate it. Hate to see it. But I do share that sentiment. Because I, for one, am, and I think I talked about this before, huge fan of the group, and was very, 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 very sad, very, very sad, to learn that we were, we basically lost, and sadly, probably one of my personal favorite one of my personal favorite MCs, period, of all time. For those that do not know, it was real name. I'm probably gonna jack this brother's last name up, but David Jalaquer. There you go. But he passed away like, what was it, about a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. But yeah, anyway, not what we're here to talk about. We also got the homie LD, aka the Lost Doctor of the 312th sector of the cosmic universe. With the congrats, Judah, you deserve it, man. Look, already getting the respect. Speaking of reason why Judah is here, not just because he's the homie, but also because he has created something that I think is pretty freaking awesome, and he's here to talk to us about it today. Before we get into some of our other stuff, so Judah is the creator of Charon 13, The Price of Eternity, which I love that subtitle, by the way. I think it's an awesome subtitle.
It is expensive, but the comic is not. So,
hey, you know what? I like that tagline. It's like, the price of eternity. I mean, you pay a lot, but don't worry. We're not gonna bust your head for the comic. I'm also for those who may or may not be paying attention, I am going to be pinning a link to the Kickstarter at the top of the screen. You can go check it out. But Judah, what is Charon 13 about? Like, what's the pitch here?
okay, I've been working on this. We'll see how this goes. First of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on here to talk about it. So 13 is it's a story about 13. He's a galactic, interstellar, cosmic secret agent. And the world that we're looking at is kind of like the way I like to describe it is West Berlin in the 80s, like Atomic Blonde era. It's in the distant future, and it's the entire galaxy split up between these two massive galactic hegemonies in what's sort of resembles like a Cold War. Stuck right in the middle, you have Charon 13, and he's a elite spy, essentially. And there's a lot of twists and turns that go through this story, but he's the best of the best. When I was coming up with the idea, it was kind of conceived of as like a hybrid of some of the things I like about James Bond, with all the racist Ian Fleming bullshit BS, that I don't like about James Bond. Yeah, I wanted to kind of cage and isolate the things that make the concepts that make the character cool, but advance it into something I think a little bit more personable and vulnerable and relatable to audiences. Something with a little bit more of a story to tell and less of a collection of tropes. This first issue, you're just gonna meet the character. Have you ever seen a Bond movie and you know how there's an action scene followed by the song followed by the rest of the movie?
Yes.
This first issue is like that first scene. So you're really just getting dropped into the middle of this universe, and you're going to see what things are like, what the characters are like, and what kind of stuff you can expect for the rest of the series. This is the first issue of a 15-issue series, and a potentially longer series if we can get to that point, because there's a lot of story to tell. The first arc is going to be 5 issues, starting with this issue number 1 that's live now. And at the grounded as you can be in space. There it is. We're at the kind of grounded espionage spy action level, but by the third arc, we're going to be at like a cosmic existential dread, like grilled. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's going to almost change genres as the story expands, becomes bigger and higher consequence.
Dude,
yeah, that's my sales pitch.
Hey, I like it. I for one am I don't think I ever talk about this, but I love the spy genre. Spy genre is one of my personal favorites. It's up there with obviously one of my first loves will always be horror and like dark fantasy and stuff like that. But also really like spies, intrigue, and all that stuff like that. And if you can somehow mix that with some of my other favorite genres, like sci-fi, because I also love sci-fi, even better. Even better. So yeah. Which, I mean, you did, and you did success. Oh, wow. You know what? This is awesome. This is actually an awesome moment here, because you actually get to do this not once, but twice, Judah. This. Carter already knows.
What happened?
Well, it just so happens, sir, that we have...
A hate crime is what's about to happen.
We have our personal...
Wait, don't say R. This is yours. I don't want it. I don't fucking want this.
This is mine. This is my moment.
Yours and yours alone.
Let me. Yep, the air is just right. 1999. Super chat from the homie Gabriel the Dark Knight says just showing support for the cave and today's guest. Hey, you know what? Thank you for that, man. Thank you for that. Also, we have another one here. We've got another 1999 super chat. This one from the homie Beta Boy TV, aka Robo Strange, aka Strange Robot, says this comic is gonna be dope. Don't let the hegemony fool you.
Robo, you don't know what that fucking word means.
He does.
He does. That's his thing. It's his thing.
He does, because he Googled hegemony to make sure he spelled it correctly, and Google shows you the definition first. I'm not stupid.
We also have one from my lovely wife, Cynthia Ludi. With the $2 super chat, says, have a great show, guys. Thank you for that. And also, love you. Have an awesome day at work. We also have Nobody Except Me with $5 says, oh, it's a Kickstarter too? Salute the grind. Shout out all creators. See, look at that.
Wait. You got to put a little bit of respect on that. It's a Kickstarter that has already been fully backed. You got to put respect on it.
This is true. This is also true. And I love this part of it too, because it's one of those things where, and I actually shout out to IFLC, I Freaking Love Comics, which also Judah is a part of, and they actually had a stream talking about this very moment, and it was something I thought was very special, because I am always a huge fan of when someone creates something and they put themselves out there and the people see it and say, yes, I like that. So I like to see the people.
Good. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Judah does too, especially since this is him in question here. But yeah, right now, for those who do not know, if you're just coming in on this, there is Charon 13, The Price of Eternity, does have a Kickstarter. Once again, the link, if you are watching this on YouTube, you will. If you're listening to this later on like Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, so on and so forth.
Don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah, just look in the show notes and description. It'll be there. We promise you. But yes, for those of you watching here live on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. But you'll be able to see, and also I'm telling on myself, I am also a backer. Don't look. But no, right now, this comic came in only asking for $1,500 to make the dream become a reality. and the people responded. People said
Quick.
no.
Quick.
Yeah. They said no. You get more than that. They said no. You can have Moss. Is basically what they said. And I think that's pretty freaking awesome. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. And once again, this means that it can just only keep going and growing from there. And I think it's safe to say that this is easily gonna be getting a that next issue. If you're sitting here thinking like, oh man, I wonder if we're gonna get. No, I think it's safe to say we're getting that next issue. We're
it's
getting
definitely
those 15
happening for sure.
We're getting those 15 issues. Don't you worry your pretty little heads. And I guess while we're here to talk about it, tell us a little bit more about the character. Once again, without without spoiling anything. Tell us a little more about the character of Charon 13.
He's on a journey, and what you're going to see in issue number 1 is the beginning of his journey, where he's kind of a loyal soldier to an extent. He's a secret agent. He is unshakably loyal to the United Systems Coalition, of which the Charon program that he's a part of is basically their elite intelligence operation. And he's gonna see some things and do some things and find out about some things over the course of this series that changes him. And maybe some of the characters he meets in this first issue will have a pretty severe impact on him over the course of this series. But what he values now might change, and how he expresses his loyalty and to whom might change. But yeah, he's definitely on a journey now, and I want you to like him. Like I about him is tailored to be just kind of loved, admired, appreciated, but also like you want to see him grow and develop. Badass. His weapon of choice is a silenced Llewellyn pistol. It's a in-universe weapon, and I named it after Desmond Llewellyn, who's the guy who plays Q in
oh yes,
James Bond movies. So I scattered a couple of my little influences throughout, just to kind of like just for fun, honestly. But yeah, I think you guys are really gonna like it.
I think we will too.
For me, I don't really. I look at the number and I'm like humbled. But what really matters to me is it's going to be after it gets mailed out, and when people contact me and tell me what they liked. Like that's the big carrot at the end of the stick that I'm like dying for, is just to get reactions and see if people liked the story.
Dude, I love it. I love to see the passion. Because I kind of feel like I don't know. It's always been kind of weird to me. Like I feel like there's a lot of really good stuff out there. A lot of we kind of live in an interesting time where there's like a lot of really great comics out there. But I don't know. I just always love it to see people like like a lot of us here in the chat who have grown up reading comics, been reading comics for a long time, and then just boom, it's like, you know what, I'm putting myself out there, I'm making the thing, and taking that love and that passion and putting it to work. And I, like I said, so yeah, when you told me about this, I was like, dude, all right, let's go. Yeah.
I mean, you aren't the only one that's feeling like that, because I think it was Eliane LeRae in the chat was saying that it got backed in 5 hours flat. So you are not
It's
the only
mind-blowing.
person.
Oh,
You are not the only person that's feeling like
Oh.
that. So, man, much respect to you and just, man.
Yeah, like I'm talking about like quick, like that. And like I remember because when I knew you told me it was going live this week, and so I was sitting there thinking like, and you, I lose track of time very quickly. So like my days always get mixed up. So then when like I'm sitting here and like all of a sudden I'm seeing like I'm in the Beta Boy Discord and everyone's talking about it and like I'm like, dude, like I was like, oh, I was today, and like I go to the Kickstarter and I'm like, whoa, oh snap, okay, I was like, all right, let's go.
I owe most of that to my team because
Mhm.
I have Alessandra Imperio as my artist, and she's based in Italy, and
Mhm.
she like proud of my story, but it's really like the incredible visuals that she's brought to it that really like bring it to life and
looks
make
fantastic.
it so yeah. Jeremiah Lambert, my letterer and designer, and he came up with the Charon 13 logo on the cover and everything, like pretty much all the design and stuff. And he's all like, this team has really come together and like made it look so slick and so in line with my vision, but also like surprised me in many ways, like where they've added so much to the universe that I just really didn't see coming. That was like, I wish it was my idea, but that's even better than any idea I would have come up with.
Dude, like I said, there's some very slick there's some very slick art going on in these books. It just, like I said, I like that. I want to find that one page that we were talking about yesterday. I think here it is right here. And yeah, look, I want to get a little nerdy here for a moment. So, and I want to shout out to Beta Boy for pointing this out because it was something that I couldn't put my finger on at first. And like I said, this is probably something that's no one is probably going to really give three shits about but me. But I hope you do because like there's a subtleness to it that I really like. There is one set of panels here. And here, let's pull those up. Where the color, there's this kind of this great contrast of colors in one space. Like you got, like you got like you got your dark vacuum of space. You got Karn whipping the blicky out. And he's using it in such a way that like that's emitting this light, and there's the colors in this section right here. I was like, dude, I really like that. I knew I liked it, but I didn't really know why I liked it until Beta Boy pointed out why, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I like it. That makes all the sense now because it's for one, some of my favorite colors, and also just the contrast of those colors against that backdrop. And like I said, just everything down to the designs. I think it was even brought up the holographic clothing that we see in like in this shot right here. Like it's the little subtle stuff, like the little nuances that that make a lot of it stick out to me. It just a reminder that hey, remember this is we're in high sci-fi right now. This is this is like something if I were to imagine myself watching a TV show or a movie, hell, I'll even go as far as say just straight up, if I were to watch an episode of Star Trek and there was like a scene like this in there, I would expect to see something like that. Like this is the type of stuff that I would be like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, the holographic clothing makes total sense to me.
So if you will bring up that picture, that first image you just brought up, because I'm very weird.
Okay.
When you were showing when he was going inside and you were talking about the colors.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Now the reason that this struck out to me, and I'm very weird when it comes to comics. If I see something on the first few pages, or if my eyes catch anything, I'm instantly going to want to read that. So if you see in the top right where he's shooting, it looks like almost like a disc out to get right inside. I'm finna show my age on this one. The first fucking thing that popped into my head. Do you two remember that old Aerosmith shooter? That arcade
Revolution
shooter?
X.
That was the first thing that popped into my head. And I said, yeah, I want to read this now.
Yeah, and then they shot CDs. They shot CDs.
It was, you were playing with Aerosmith, shooting cyborgs and aliens, shooting CDs people. It was hilarious.
It was a fantastic
something I needed to play.
It was that, and it was page 8 when you see, and this is just shout out to the artist here. It's just when he's getting out of the suit,
yep,
into the drip.
Yeah,
I thought was really well done. I thought it was really well done.
Oh yeah,
the way he's sneaking in, getting scanned in, and drip.
It's
just
like
fixing the cufflinks up. I thought that was really dope.
and
like, thank you. Read this.
And to cap it off right here, where he's like, "All right, let me pull this out. Let me pull the strap out." He's like, "I might have to do some wet work here in just a minute," and he does, because it literally just it's immediately followed up with him just catching 2 bodies off rip. Just like he's like, all right, well, cool. Bam, just bop bop.
No, you got to pull it back up. You got to pull it back up. You got to put some more respect on it. It was the Metal Gear
tap.
It was the Metal Gear tap. I cracked up when I saw it.
He's like, yeah, come here. He's like,
I said, yeah, I want to read this. He could have kept the space suit. Yeah.
The most fulfilling thing is hearing you guys like appreciate it the way that I like it. Like this is the stuff that was going through my head when I was writing this script of like, oh yeah, like the tap from Metal Gear, like, so just you guys kind of like reading it that way. That's like,
It's like, dude, it was awesome. I thought it was really freaking cool. I thought it was really freaking cool. We got some more apparently have some more super chats in here. I want to make sure we catch these before they get away from us. We got one here from QMac with the 1999.
That always makes me happy.
I'm sorry you have to go through this. It makes you happy now because you get to leave in a little bit. That's what that is. That's what it is. You get to go on about your daily. You ain't been having to do this for like 2 years now. That's all it is.
He's gonna have to get
to go back to having wonderful stories and new scripts you get to jot out. You ain't got to hear this shit here.
Like he gets to go back to being like, yeah, so like right here,
like
go ahead and have a tap on the wall.
I was going to say, in a perfect world, that shit right there was one of the people that just got their heads blown off. That's what that was.
Tap, tap.
1999 was one of the dummies that just walked in there when they heard the tapping.
Well, yeah,
MP3 recording of that, one of my stretch goals, because I think that would definitely.
I would provide that. I would provide that to you. Qback says, show and love and keeping this trend going. Need the voice, Ernie. And also, QMac, because they are a scholar, a saint, and a whole gentleman. Says with another one with 1999 super chat, says have much love for you brothers, best channel in this and any other multiverse. Thank you for that. That is the ultimate respect right there. We've also got another one here from Beta Boy TV with 499. Says comics are like Tinder. You need story to keep people, but you need sexy art to get people to swipe right. This has both. It does.
Where's Man Eater? Because he just told on himself. I hope he did that. Check his phone.
Check his phone.
That degenerate got Tinder on his phone. Check his phone, Man Eater. I know you're listening too.
Shh! Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Legion with the 199 says, do you think Marvel is going to add Sentry in the MCU? We're actually going to be talking about that here in a little bit. We actually will be talking about that here in a little bit, and I have some opinions and some thoughts, some things that I will say. But I'll just say for now, I think yes, but I don't think this is the one. That's all I'll say for now.
I'm going to regret this, but you missed one. Because you got Q-Max, but you didn't get Brent Fox.
Oh, Oh, you know what I did? I'm so glad you said something here. Now this one. See, Carter, they helped you out here.
Yes, they did.
They helped you out here. Because, see, the new way, usually Carter says just add the penny, but see, we got a song for that too. So Brent actually did you a solid here. Says,
yes,
sorry,
I did.
Carter, had to keep the party going. Seriously, though, thanks all of you for providing a one-of-a-kind platform that is as informative as it is hilarious. See? Thank you for that. See? We got you. We got you. We appreciate that. But yes, for Elite X1 who's asking, yeah, this is here, I'm gonna pull this back up because blam. This is our homie Judah Radd, who is the creator of Charon 13. So this and if you've just jumped in, Charon 13 is a sci-fi comic with a lot of like super spy. I guess this wouldn't technically be wouldn't be an international man of mystery. This is an intergalactic man of mystery, which I'm down for. I'm down 100% for. And I want to, for those of you, if you haven't gone to the Kickstarter page, which is pinned at the top of the chat as we speak, one of my favorite parts of the setup that's in the on the Kickstarter page is the part where once we kind of get through some showing us some of the art, the panels, the pages, everything. The part where it says, and I think this is what I think is gonna catch a lot of people's attention here. It says, we want you to experience a pulse-pounding blend of gratifying emotions. Do you remember the awe-inspiring feeling you had when traversing the vast expanse of space in Mass Effect, or with the self-assuredness you felt after watching John Wick? Do you recall feeling like you could take down an entire room of assassins with your fists? We're gonna give you all of that and then some. That is like, art. I'm here. The plot. I'm here. But like, it's that promise of what else is to come. Beyond what we're just seeing there, and yeah. I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Also, I just not to rehash a joke from yesterday. I to tell myself a little bit. I got the variant cover. I got the variant cover, which I believe that's the one. That's the God damn, I can't talk. The Arosa variant cover, which I think is this one. Is it this one right here? Let me boop, 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 boop. Bam. I think it's this one right here. And I got it based on the strength of the Scott Bakula jokes that were told yesterday. Which, by the way, I still think you need to hit Scott Bakula up on Cameo so he could put an endorsement out.
I want him to try to collect royalties from me, so it's a double-edged sword.
No, actually, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Actually, no. What you do is you tell him, and then hopefully by the time he gets a chance to say anything, he makes the next leap, and it's not the leap home. There you go. That's how that goes. Like the blue light just overtakes him, and next thing he winds up in a boxing ring getting his ass beat. Quantum Leap jokes, everybody. Quantum Leap. Not the new one. Not because it's bad. I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't know there was a new one. Ew.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. But there's everyone was mad because it's an Asian man now. He's not a white man. Everybody was upset. But no, if you can't tell, I really dig this. I think this is really awesome. And I guess for those who don't know, because I guess that's another thing too. Judah, can you tell everyone a little bit about your comic pedigree? Because it's something that Robo and I have talked about from time to time, as well as that like Judah is a I would dare say an encyclopedia.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
of comics. Well, just like
so
your attention to detail, like your attention to like your recall. I'll put it that way. We'll say your recall is just really good.
Sway, there's my wife, my dog, my friends, and those are the only things I care about more than comics. Everything else is comics as far as my like passion goes. Yeah, you know, I'm a big fan. The Silver Surfer is my favorite character. I love the X-Men. I love Hickman era X-Men. I know you talk about that a lot on this channel, and so good. I'm a big fan of Valiant. The characters and the creators, not so much the upper levels of the company anymore, but yeah,
of course.
I love Bloodshot, Exo Manowar, Livewire, the Harbinger series. Like I love that stuff.
Also, he said Livewire. I just want to point this out. Nobody talks about Livewire, and it's a crying shame.
Shit, no one talks about Harbinger, Exo Manowar.
No, they really don't. But they talk even less about Livewire.
Be the #1 superhero that everybody in the world likes. She's just not getting the exposure that she deserves.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. Because like there've been times where which, you know, first and foremost, Valiant, like that's one of those, like they're very, like I don't read every, like there are some things I read from Valiant. I'm kind of all over the place as of late when it comes to comics. I've lately found myself becoming a stan account for AWA Upshot for Boom Studios.
They're so good.
Just like honestly, we're at a point right now where, you know, don't get me wrong, Marvel and DC, they're great. Yeah, they're fantastic. Whatever. Image, always great. You know, I feel they have almost too many comics at this point. But I think they actually have more comics running concurrently than both Marvel and DC combined right now. Comics
than people who live in Rhode Island. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's 100,000% right there. But it's crazy to me that, like, you know, we live in this day and age now where, you know, there's just multiple companies out there just putting out great great books.
We're living comic renaissance. I think like it's never been better than it is now. It's just at peak. Like you have there was a time when, you know, you had superhero stuff and Western stuff and like horror stuff, and now it's like you have every type of stuff your brain can like rule. It's got to be like not rule 34, but like a rule something for comics where if you can think of it, it's there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a comic out there for it, like in some way. Because it's like, when I talk to people, like, oh man, I don't really mess with comics anymore because it's just all superheroes. And I was like, no, not really. Like, there's comics about just regular people doing regular stuff.
Get that new Chip Zdarsky book, Public Domain. It's like it's just about, there's no superheroes, there's no magic, there's no sci-fi. It's just a story about life. Like you have that now.
Yeah. You can just as easily find a comic about and this is one that I like to throw out there a lot. If you're a fan of something like The Mayor of Kingstown, you could read a comic. You're like, man, I wish there was a comic like Mayor of Kingstown, and you could say, oh, just go read New Bern. Oddly enough, also by Chip Zdarsky. But like,
my parents will not have it either. Like, I sit down with my dad. I'm like, you should read this. You should read some Ed Brubaker. That's just like the stuff that you like.
Yeah.
And he just is not having it. He's like, said, no. Maybe one of these days. It's just because it's a comic. He's just not super like drawn to it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is,
stigma.
I always find, like, my mother was the one who got me into comics when I was a kid, and and because of what I do, we do end up talking about comics from time to time. And, I'll be telling her about something I'm reading. She's like, oh, my God, that sounds so, like, and not just, like, a put on, but, like she's legitimately gone out and bought some of the comics I've, told her about. Like, when I was telling her about James Tenney the Fourth's Something's Killing the Children. She was like, wow, that sounds like something that should be like a movie or TV show or something. Or like, when I was talking about Once and Future, Bitter Root, a lot of these comics that are, once again, they're not capes. They're not superheroes by any stretch of the imagination. But the stories are relatable. They're like things you would see on TV or in a movie or in a novel or whatever. And like that same, like, when people, you think back to what was like the 80s and the 90s, where I feel like there was like this huge boom of like sci-fi fantasy novels. And I feel like it's like that now, just but for comics. Like, there's just like every comic imaginable. Heck, I didn't know this until about maybe a year or two ago. Apparently Red Sonja is still a thing.
Yeah,
and is
where you
like,
been?
because I don't read Dynamite comics like that.
Well, I just know you're a fan of Gail Simone because that's who was doing it for a while.
Well, no. I knew about her.
Best run, hands down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. I knew about hers. I didn't know it was still like as popular today.
Gotcha.
And like, because I don't remember. I would have to look this up, but whoever is on the book currently, I know it's changed hands. Like, it's changed hands dozens of times. Since Gail Simone, which that's been some time. But I think the last person here, let's see, I got it right in front of me as of now, is, let's see, that's the cover art.
Yeah, I know Jim Zub did it.
Jim Zub was on it. Yeah.
Because his had a different name. It was something Red Sonja.
Yeah, his was different. There was Mirko Andolfo was the one who did one of the last like core series. And then Jim Zub, and then I think there were some other names, some other like prominent names out there as well, but like, and they've been good. They've been good. Not as good as Gail Simone, because I'm sorry.
That's Sonja. So that's like all the Red Sonjas across. They've gone multiversal with it. So.
Yeah, I don't remember which one that is, but yeah, there's one where like, okay, the Dynamite has done this thing where like they have had their own like Red Sonja into the Sonja-verse. They've had their own like where Vampirella and Red Sonja have teamed up. They've had it where like there's all these different versions of Vampirella. I think Christopher Priest right now is writing one of the books, Draculina, which is just wild to me because Christopher Priest is like, y'all are not about to pigeonhole me as the Black Panther guy. Just no, sir. It's like, I'm writing everything else but. I'm writing Deathstroke. I'm writing Justice League. I'm writing U.S. Agent. I don't want to write no more black characters. He's like, get away from me. Give me this Draculina book. But no, like, like, some of our favorite...
Mix too, like Rodney Barnes just did a 5-issue James Bond run for Dynamite. So
see, I didn't even know
they
that.
have like their key holders.
I didn't even know that. And Rodney Barnes is one of my currently one of my favorite writers. Largely because of Philadelphia and Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog, which is, by the way, if you're not reading either of those titles, y'all please do yourself a service and go check those out. They're really good. But yeah, like, what was it? Carter, you and I've talked about this a lot, but I always tell people, some of your favorite writers at Marvel and DC have books elsewhere.
Yes.
Like, for all y'all that are like, gushing.
He literally just brought up Public Domain.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you love Daredevil, you love Chip Zdarsky's Batman, go read Public Domain. Go read New Burn. Go read what was it? There's another one he has that I'm blanking on, but like, you know, for everyone that was gushing over Kieran Gillen's Immortal X-Men and Judgment Day, I can literally reach over here right now and pull out Die, which is...
I didn't know you got it. I didn't know you got it in.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good book.
Whew. You could beat somebody's
Actually,
ass
I'm jealous.
with this. Well, I mean, it's such a good story. Hell, I'll reach up here again. Kieran Gillen. This is a Kieran Gillen Stan account, once and future, right here.
This is just him trying to stunt right now that he can just grab all these.
I mean,
he's doing it.
Just have them alphabetically organized.
yeah, hey, look, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm out here. But no, I love some of your favorite writers. If you want to experience their work outside of mainstream comics, you can just go to any of these other imprints and be like, there you have it. So yeah,
Mainstream stuff, like they're bound. Like they have to follow. There's editorial controlling like certain elements of like what kind of story they can tell, what they can do with the character, which characters they can use. I mean, there's still a lot of great stuff, obviously, with Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, which is like chef's kiss. But they really get to spread their wings with something like Image, where it's still a creator-owned title, and they could do basically whatever they want with it. And you really get to see them kind of spread their wings a little bit, fly, so to speak.
Well, I mean, Carter and I have talked about this a great deal before, but like, we always bring up Donny Cates's crossover, which is just a really weird and wild book that should not be possible, but it is. And on paper, it should just sound like a lawsuit waiting to happen, but a lot of the stuff he uses, a lot of it's stuff that Image owns, and even the stuff that he doesn't, they find ways to get around it and have it exist there in a roundabout way where you can kind of be like, yeah, we can't quite sue you yet, but we're thinking about it. But you couldn't do a book like Crossover with like all these random and sundry characters. You couldn't do that at Marvel, not in the way that he's done it, where it's not just the comic characters, it's also like the writers, the artists that are also. I think there's an issue that Chip Zdarsky, Chip Zdarsky Stan account podcast here. There's an issue of Crossover, I think, that's written by Chip Zdarsky, starring Chip Zdarsky. So it's like there's like I said, there's a lot out there. I always tell people, don't get me wrong, Marvel, DC, fantastic, they're great. I don't have any beef with them, but if you want to know like where I usually hang my hat, it's typically in the spectrum of like Image, Boom, Dynamite, so and so forth.
Trouble is,
Yeah. Actually, and now as of today, officially, I can say that. I can say, Trouble Studios, which by the way, the home of Charon 13. So I just, I think I think this is a really awesome thing because, we are getting a story that you probably. And I don't know. You never know. Because, we've seen these things start out in one place and end up in another. But could you see yourself potentially bringing, Charon 13 or, like, another work to, because I guess, like, to kind of put an example out there. I think it was it not Terra that Scott Snyder did. I think initially started as like an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, and then it wound up on being published through Image Comics. Like, could you see something like that?
Same level of success as Scott Snyder, because he's Scott Snyder. I
mean, he only wrote one of the best Batman runs of all time. Jeez. he only mildly carried the New 52 for a little bit.
Yeah, but that's
tell
a
this
very
story
good
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell the story for a long time. So as long as and I got to thank the backers now. Like, it's really guys that sort of facilitate this for me, because like I'll tell the story as long as you let me. And then as far as Trump goes, this is in its infantile stages, but we are we planning a anthology book, and I already have some work put towards that. So I would like to, as this gets a little bit more exposure and success and funding, I do plan on publishing stuff that's not for me, to kind of just become a home for independent creators. So that's some long-term stuff. I got to get the first Kickstarter off first, but I'm gonna grow it as much as I can from where I'm at.
Well, hey, you're off to a pretty good start so far.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Off to a very good start so
Definitely.
far. But that said, because I want to make sure that we catch this too here, because we got us another. Oh, Carter, he didn't save you this time. We got a super chat here from LP3 with the 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Super chat says, good afternoon, fellas. First off, congrats on your book, Judah. I will support. Also, I've learned to change my verbiage when recommending comics. When I say graphic novel instead, some people give them a try. It's weird, man. That's a true statement. I've discovered graphic novel, apparently, is a less charged word.
That's how
comic.
Walking Dead fans can enjoy Walking Dead, even though they clown people who read comics.
Yeah.
Because Walking Dead is not a comic; it's a graphic. Nah, watch out, little bitch. It's a comic book.
Look, that is 22 pages, sir. Don't sit up here and lie to me. That's a damn comic book. It's got pictures. Stop lying to yourself. Just accept that it's a comic, and we can all live our lives. But no, also thank you for the support, not only for us, but also for going and checking out Charon 13 over on Kickstarter, which, by the way, link at the top of the chat. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that, Judah? What do you think about the idea of your graphic novels versus comics, like in people's natural? You already kind of saying you were talking about your dad, like kind of like I don't know about this comic, but like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know why, but every time you sing, I lose audio for like 30 seconds. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, God. My bad.
If that wasn't any indication.
Hey.
No, but that's not a comment on your singing. I think that's just a Discord thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's just Discord. But no, but what do you think about that? What do you think about like that argument between like comics versus graphic novels, like people preferring to use one word over another, or being more receptive to it, if it's labeled as one thing versus another, rather?
I got a couple thoughts about it. One is that I think it's good for comics if comics reach a wider audience than the people that are currently comic book fans. And I think that maybe having something a little more academic to describe it, like graphic novel, could expand it to a wider audience and just kind of I've always felt like comics is treated like low art when it's really high art. So to me, it's a good thing if maybe the verbiage we use expands it to that academic level. On the flip side, I don't really like the term graphic novel. It just sounds a little bit pretentious to me. So it's like I'm trying to find that balance between those two things.
This is not a comic book. This is a graphic novel. It's kind of like when people say like toys versus action figures. Like it's a toy. It's not an action. I mean, yeah, action figures it works, but like I used to always find it funny. Like no, these are action figures. It's like, yeah, it's a toy. But no, I guess with that, do we have any? I'm looking to see if there's any. Anything else here? Making sure we're not missing anything. Okay, cool. Look at that, man. Look at this, Carter. We are knocking them out. We're knocking them out. But also, what I want to make sure you guys knock out is I want you guys. Yes, I want you guys to go and check out Charon 13 over on Kickstarter. If any of what we have said has sounded the least bit interesting to you, I think you owe it to yourself to go check it out because there's something really special over there. Judah, do you have anything else to add?
Of audio. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know. It's like in and out with you, but
I'm here. Let's see.
we say in the military, speaking in the blind, which means that I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Yes, we can.
I appreciate the support and I appreciate you guys having me on. And project means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me that people are interested in it. And I'm going to give you an awesome product. There's a lot of other kind of cool stuff. We hit the first stretch goal, so everybody gets a trading card. Kind of cool. Got a sticker here. Everybody gets. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw in these bookmarks too because it's not a stretch goal, but it's just cool to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get these shipped out.
Dude, well, like I said, I can't wait. Also, I can't wait to get the copy of it. So I'm excited for it. I think it's safe to say a lot of other people are excited for it as well. And I think when it
Hear you again, yes.
Oh, there it is. When it comes time to and when it comes time for Charon 13 number 2, dude, we'd love to have you back on. So,
awesome, thank you.
But no, with that, y'all make sure to for one, and I'll for those who are watching this or the VOD or coming back, we're gonna have all the links and everything. We'll have everything up so that you can go check it out. Make sure that you go follow where I know where to find you on Twitter, but where everyone can find you on social media.
Twitter is trouble_comics on Twitter. And then my personal is Judah_Radd_IFLC, and I'm always down to chat. I spend a lot of time on social media, even when I'm at work and I should be working, because I have a social media problem. So I'll definitely be available.
Look, we just in case. Nobody heard that last part. Just in case. We don't want to get him in trouble. He has not been on social media at work. He has not been on social media at work.
That I was kidding.
He's like, those are jokes. Those are clearly jokes. Not jokes. But no, thank you so much for sitting in with us, Judah. And like I said, we will have you back. We will have you back again to talk about Charon 13 number 2. And I can't wait for y'all to see what is coming with Charon 13 number 1. So we're going to take a quick pause, and we will be right back. All right, there we go. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, maybe, I don't know.
Let me just tell you all real quick that was a very nice guest to have. That looks like it's going to be a very interesting book, a very fun book. I really like when I see someone who they have an idea and they have a dream and they set out to achieve that dream, and then everyone else loves that dream.
Yes, sir.
But let me tell you how you people can ruin a very good thing.
I forgot about this.
Evil, ugly people with these 1999s. This man is trying to come over here and promote something that he has been wanting to do for quite a long time. He finally gets to put it out in front of you all. But he just left saying he had another interview to do, so he gets to talk his shit on multiple platforms and do something that he loves to do. He got to achieve a dream was achieved. And y'all punk asses coming here with these 1999s, you make me sick. You make me sick.
Also,
stop ruining people's dreams.
Oh no,
that man for almost an hour had to hear that kung fu treachery come out of Ernie's mouth. They had to hear the chicanery, degenerateness come out of his mouth because of you people.
I mean,
have you all not heard about making a good first impression? Y'all ain't got no home training. Okay, y'all in here with these damn 1999. You got Beta Boy in the chat trying to pretend he knows big words. What the hell is wrong with y'all today? Y'all really trying to make this villain origin shit come to fruition. Y'all ain't slick.
Well, on the speaking of villain origin stories. No, I'm joking. That has nothing to do with villain origin stories. We got a super chat from the homie. Oh wait, hold. Let me go to that one. There we go. Is this the right? Yeah, this should be the right one. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. We got one from the homie Lost Ark says, like, call it professional wrestling combat ballet. Yeah, talking about what we were talking about earlier. I've never heard
someone call it that, but I would put hands on that person who called it that.
I mean, I sometimes I would refer to it as murder gymnastics, but yeah,
gymnastics,
fashionista murder gymnastics. That's sometimes what I would like when I wanted to describe it to someone that didn't like the idea of professional wrestling, like they didn't understand it. That's what I would do. I'd be like, yeah, here you go. There you have it. And they'd be like, oh, wow, this is actually really cool. Also, by the way, speaking of, we got one also here from the homie Witch Doctor Son. Says, happy Saturday. Thank you, Ernie, for helping me realize that John Henry Iron Steel is my favorite DC Comics character. Hey, you are welcome, and I'm glad you enjoyed that video.
When you say things like that, you have to know what that statement envelops. So that means you like everything Steel, from the comics to the cartoons, from the live action to Shaq. You like all of that now. That statement you just made envelops all of that. So now people get to clown you like hell. That's his favorite DC character. That Shaq. He just enveloped everything he said. You are nasty, sir, that you like Shaq with the garbage man suit on. Stop it.
Oh no. Also, thank you for that 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Dun, 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 dun. A super chat. Thank you for that. We appreciate it, pimp. We also got one here from Anthony Drosos with the $5 Canadian. Says, looking to give self-publishing one more try after years of hesitation. Do you recommend print or online like webtoons? This was probably a better question for Judah, but I would definitely say I feel like online, like if you're talking like webtoons, that's one thing. That's one way to go about it for sure. I would also say that if you can make your comics in a digital format of any kind, is always kind of a step up, because a lot of people, I would say you could give people both options. Like if you like, I feel like going the Indiegogo Kickstarter route is always a pretty, I won't say a safe bet, but just like I feel like you can kind of offer multiple things. But I definitely would say if you just wanted to kind of start out, I would maybe say Webtoon's not a bad place to go. Let's see here. Lost Doctor Blerd with the golden pipes. Hey, thank you for that. We got some other stories here we're going to jump into. And, someone asked, I believe, who was it that asked this earlier? I believe it was Legion that asked this earlier about, yes, it was. I can confirm. They said, or rather they asked, do you think Marvel is going to add Sentry in the MCU? And that has been the rumor as of late. That has been the hot rumor for the last couple of weeks, actually. We didn't talk about this, the previous week because we just had other stuff to talk about. But apparently, it is a possibility. Now, I want to put a caveat on everything here that I'm about to say because I want to taper expectation.
Okay.
I want to taper expectation. Right now, the rumor is that Steven Yeun is going to be playing the Sentry in the MCU, and this rumor exists purely because about roughly a week ago, there was some news that came out that said that he is going to be playing a pivotal key role in the Thunderbolts film. Now, I want to make sure that we taper those expectations a little bit because I want to bring you Exhibit A, and it's really the only exhibit because it's the only one I think I should need.
I don't even want you to temper expectations. I want their asses to go in there expecting to see the Sentry, just like they asses walked into Quantumania expecting to see Reed fucking Richards. I don't want you to temper no expectations. I just want y'all to go in there and be severely disappointed because of your own brains jumping to fucking conclusions.
And actually, I'm glad you said that, Carter, because that's exactly what I was going to bring up, because I remember when William Jackson Harper was announced, everyone and their grandmama thought, and even I kind of thought, maybe. I mean, could be, but I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to be playing Quasar. He's going to be playing Reed Richards. He's going to be playing Blue Marvel. He's going to be playing all these different characters because some leaker, and once again, this wasn't necessarily information that came from Marvel. It was insiders out there, like your Grace Randolphs and your so on and so forth, saying that, oh yeah, rumor has it, like they're on some Adele shit.
I'm gonna do that on one of these Blerd Caves before I leave LA.
What's that?
I'm gonna rearrange my entire room so that the camera is looking at the window so y'all can just see outside of my damn crib, and then I'm gonna flip my goddamn camera so it could be like this. So I'm straight up horizontal. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna dye my hair blonde, and I'm gonna tell you all about how I had a conversation with James Gunn last week, and he hates Henry Cavill, and the Thunderbolts are gonna be fighting Suicide Squad in an amalgam crossover starring Nikki Cox and Julian McMahon from Nip Tuck.
Dude, this man drug out Nikki Cox. But no, all these people kept saying, oh yeah, man, William Jackson Harper, he's going to be playing a key pivotal role in the MCU, and he ended up just playing this dude. A dude who honestly didn't even have to be in the movie. Was not a key pivotal role or nothing.
They were expecting him to be Reed Richards.
Oh,
right?
100%.
They were expecting Dr. Doom to show up in Wakanda Forever. Y'all asses forgot about that one, didn't it? They asses was running around here swore up and down that Tom Cruise was in Multiverse of Madness. And now we got the new rumor, y'all. Invincible. Glenn himself is going to be Robert Reynolds, the most white bread Caucasian in the MCU. Why? Because you read it on Twitter.
Look. Wait, Blackface said he probably gonna be playing Humbug or something. Look, here's the thing. We don't know who he's gonna be playing. A lot of people think it's gonna be the Sentry. I honestly, personally, I don't see it. I feel like this is one of those rumors that's gonna fall flat on its face. Now, if we fast forward to like 4 or 5 months, and then Marvel comes and said, "Yeah, Steven Yeun's gonna be playing the Sentry," I'll say fair play. But right now, this just sounds like one of those ridiculous rumors people put out there to get clicks. That's what
y'all
this
asses still go for it and then clown the movie because Twitter profile pic number 874 told you some shit and you boosted your own head up. So because you boosted your own head up, the movie sucks. No, you just dumb for believing a Twitter profile pic, and that person gets to go away scot-free because their troll worked. Their clickbaity shit worked. If I get another one of y'all people that tag me in some shit because Comic Book Cast or Comic Book somebody then said that Steven Yeun was going to be the Sentry because Negan is going to be Thomas Wayne, and that's how they're going to do the amalgam shit. And then Comics Explained said that they're going to do Avengers Forever. And see, because Comics Explained is an insider. He knows everything. Why y'all bringing Rob into this? Why y'all bringing Negan into this? What Thomas Wayne do with who this boy is gonna be in a Marvel film?
Dude, I just
you see what I'm saying? You see how all that shit I just said sounds about as stupid as shit? They say it on Twitter, and y'all believe it there. Why?
I mean, here's my thing with it. I remember. Witch Doctor Sun brought this up too, because I remember that was actually the big rumor at the time, is that when Black Panther came out, we would see the Soul Stone, because all the Marvel movies leading up to Infinity War had some kind of MacGuffin in it that would later we discover was an Infinity Stone.
Do you not remember the pics that they showed of Doctor Doom in Wakanda Forever? Mm-hmm. When it was clearly just a goddamn steal that somebody took from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and they just put that motherfucker behind a Quinjet, and y'all fell for it.
Oh, no. I remember seeing one that
How many Tom Cruises did we see coming straight off of Vanilla Sky, put the Iron Man suit on him? Come on, bro.
Oh, no. I remember someone took a still from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and tried to pass it off as a shot of Doctor Doom in Wakanda Forever. And here's the thing. Look. Okay, so I think Carter and I have talked about this before. I usually vet every story that we talk about here on this show, so that very rarely do we ever talk about something in a serious fashion as if it's true. Case in point, when all the stuff was happening with No Way Home, and everybody was saying, oh, man, Andrew Garfield, oh, man, Tobey Maguire. I vetted those stories, and I had reason to believe that they were true because of all the evidence that we had seen. But, like, when it was, like, other stuff, like Tom Cruise is going to be in Multiverse of Madness, and then people tried to backtrack and say, well, no, he was actually originally in it, but he was cut. Stop. Just admit that when y'all saw them images of a black woman shooting light out of her hands and had glowing ass eyes, that the light was so bright that for 2 seconds y'all thought y'all saw a white man. And this is like, honestly, that Multiverse of Madness has basically reaffirmed for me my argument that I always make when people say that, in certain situations, certain characters look like, they're almost white. This is why I always tell people, because that's how light works. If I turn these lights up bright enough, I will be a whole other shade. Matter of fact, Carter is actually darker skinned than what he looks like right now.
First of all, you're not going to disrespect me like that, okay? First of all, that's what you're not going to do. That's what you're not gonna do. I'm caramel macchiato, you prick. You are not finna disrespect me like that. You ain't finna disrespect me like that.
Oh.
John Battle saying Stephen Yeun is gonna be Amadeus Cho. That's racist.
Well, okay. The only reason that I would, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Stephen Yeun is Chinese, and Amadeus Cho is Korean.
Stand up out loud and be like, Amadeus Cho gonna be, bro. You gonna see?
Actually, I take that back. He is South Korean.
Stop Asian hate. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
Stephen Yeun is actually South Korean. For some reason I thought he was Chinese. Never mind. I guess I'm the racist.
Danger. Talk about my goddamn villain origin and been a villain sitting next to me the whole time, apparently.
Hey, man, born villain. Oh, but no, I wonder though. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to go straight for the Amadeus Cho because it seems like such an obvious, like, oh, okay. Remember when Peter Dinklage was cast in Avengers Infinity War, and everybody was like, oh, he's gonna play Alpha Flight's Puck. Like, it was like, oh, just because he's a little person, we're just gonna go ahead and just say, like, dude, okay, I just want to put something out here. I just want to put some
so green, bro. Y'all low down.
Wait a minute. Y'all,
that's so dirty.
Y'all saw Game of Thrones, and y'all were like, yeah, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, Peter Dinklage, that's him. Like, he's the guy. Like, he can play. Like, I just want to point something out here. Just because Peter Dinklage is a little person, I don't even know if that's even the preferred nomenclature anymore. Y'all saw Peter Dinklage and the first thing everybody said was, Puck. He's going to be Puck. Puck has no business being in Avengers Infinity War. Actually, you know what else? You know who else they thought he was going to be playing? Carter. You know who else they thought? They thought that he was going to be playing Pip. Pip the Troll.
Oh my god! So if I end up getting put in a Marvel movie, who do you bastards gonna think I'm gonna be? Huh? Turk? Huh?
Yeah, you Turk Barrett. Okay. But no, like, they ended up going with CG for Pip the Troll, which I think was actually probably the wiser decision. That way no one gets pigeonholed, typecasted, or stereotyped. But, which, I mean, if they would have gotten Peter Dinklage to play Pip the Troll, I wouldn't have been upset about it, but I'm pretty sure he would have been, because I don't know if any of y'all remember the rant he went on when that Snow White remake was announced by Disney, and he went on a tirade about using little people as actors for that.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Bishop Carter. You can play Bishop. I'm fine with that. Here's what I want to know.
Look, go ahead.
Okay, you basically said where the Stephen Yeun stuff came from.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to figure out is why I poked fun at John Battle for saying Amadeus Cho, but why did everybody go to Sentry? Because the one thing about it is, this is somebody, I saw one thing that said that he's going to be somebody big in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Why the hell would the Sentry be in Thunderbolts? Like, let's think about it from that perspective, okay? Even the Tom Cruise bullshit, okay? At least you was trying to say he was Iron Man, even though we ain't gonna go there. But why would the Sentry and you know he ain't gonna have the Void too far behind him? Why would he be in Thunderbolts?
Here's the thing. I think what it is. Okay, I'm gonna be real here. If the Sentry is the character that shows, regardless of whether Stephen Yeun plays him or not, if the Sentry shows up in the Thunderbolts, if he is for whatever the person that they have to deal with, or the Void is who they have to deal with,
Stop watching Marvel movies.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna think, and y'all are gonna. Some of you might like it, some of you might love it, but it will remind me of just how nasty it seemed in the original Suicide Squad movie, that they literally came up with multiple regular men to fight an escaped witch goddess.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. The regular team, Elaine Bennis's white bread is going to whoop the Sentry. I will stop watching Marvel movies.
Look, let me tell you something right now. I remember, and don't get me wrong, I think me and Carter both gone on record saying that we don't hate that Suicide Squad movie. But one thing I do often criticize about it, you can criticize the, what's his name? Jared Leto's Joker, whatever. I don't care. You can criticize the way Enchantress was popping locking the whole time. You can criticize the way that Killer Croc crawled up in that water and was always watching BET and acted mad stereotypical.
Man, watching Tech 9 videos. I about died.
But here's my thing. When Amanda Waller said, hey, our witch goddess, the Enchantress, basically a whole ass supernatural entity, has escaped and said the only way we can get this heifer back is we got to call Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Killer Croc. What was the other one? Slipknot. Who literally was the dude who died first. That literally was his whole purpose. He was the dude that died first. We got Katana, Rick Flag, and the only person with actual superpowers, El Diablo.
And he caught it at the end.
He caught it. He caught it. The regular people with the power of friendship soundly beat Cara Delevingne pop locking demon form and shit. Look, and I'm talking about clean in the we talked about before in wrestling, clean in the middle of the ring. Clean. Like that. Look, y'all remember what WrestleMania was where Triple H beat Booker T?
What do you want to talk about wrestling? You got to stay on point here. The
I'm just
person
saying.
with powers was well gone.
But no,
you go into this Thunderbolts movie, ain't a lick of power on there.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. Triple H beat Booker T with the pedigree, passed out, woke up 18 seconds later, pinned Booker T, and won. Like, there was no kick out, no last second kick out. That's the level of beatdown they put on the Enchantress in that movie. If they do the same thing to the Sentry in the MCU, I'm a laugh.
And you know what's wild about this is, even though we're talking about El Diablo dying, at least they kind of had that as an assist. When Gohan killed Cell, he had Vegeta as an assist.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Cell caught it. Thunderbolts, they ain't got nothing. All they got is Cooking with Flow, the Hopper, the mayor of Kingstown, a character from an Ant-Man sequel everybody want to forget, a character from a Black Widow movie don't nobody like, and that's gonna whoop the Golden Guardian of Good. I'll never watch a Marvel movie again.
So wait a minute. So Carter, basically what you're telling me is that when this movie comes out,
you gonna fire me because you gonna be back in one above none era because I'm not watching the movies no more. I'm gonna just shake my head and nod and agree with everything you say.
Wait a minute. So wait. So what you're saying is, if this squad put hands on Sentry, you out.
Totally is.
Look, here's the now. I do want to point out, even with the power of President Thunderbolt Ross. Yes, I said President Thunderbolt Ross because it was recently confirmed that Thunderbolt Ross, played by Harrison Ford, is going to be president of the United States in the MCU in this movie, which I guess is to explain why we haven't seen him very much. Yeah, sure. Which, by the way, once again, another scoop that the only reason I talked about it on this show is because I thought it had a very high chance of being true, and it turned out to be true. So, I mean, you never know. I'm only bringing it up here because, not because I think it's going to happen, but because I just want y'all to not get your hopes up.
You know what? I give you this. I'm going to give you some rope, even though I shouldn't. If it's not the Sentry they whoop, but Bob, if it's Robert Reynolds and not actually the Sentry, because he don't know he the Sentry, all right, I don't know why the Thunderbolts will be whooping on some average Joe, but I'm going to give you that one. With U.S. Agent and his Reynolds rap-ass shield, okay? And you know what? Somebody in the chat just asked, what about the Suicide Squad and Starro losing to Rats and Harley Quinn? And Ernie would disagree with me probably when I say this, but I'll tell you why that one worked and not the David Ayer Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it worked in the James Gunn film was because the James Gunn film was not to be taken seriously.
Correct.
David Ayer's Suicide Squad was supposed to be some real shit.
That movie was unintentionally funny at times.
Am I wrong?
That's how serious it was.
Am I okay? Y'all can tell me, y'all can call bullshit. Am I wrong in thinking that James Gunn's Suicide Squad was not supposed to be taken serious in any regard? Motherfucker got killed by polka dots. He ain't supposed to take that movie serious. That's why Starro and shit worked.
Look, they literally Polka Dot Man imagining Starro as his mom. Polka Dot Man in a strip club imagining every person in the club is his mom.
Yeah.
That movie was not meant to be taken seriously. Not at all. John Cena walking around in his tighty whities.
That's just Ernie. That's racist.
I mean, that's what he was wearing. He was wearing his skivvies, man.
But that's my thing. David Ayer, that was supposed to be dark, serious, Zack Snyder, we got to do what he doing, super serial film. That's why.
Mm-hmm. I'll, wait a minute here. It says, I have an idea. With the $1.99 super chat says, oh wait, did it go away? There it is.
Oh, I thought that was the start of the statement. Well, I have an idea.
No, that's their name. It says, did I miss the Batwoman Red Death chicanery? We have not talked about it. I probably won't because I didn't watch the episode. That show's still going? No. Okay, so here's what happened. So Javicia Leslie, who played Batwoman, she is on the final season of The Flash because they're doing like some really wild, weird stuff right now. And right now, she is the Red Death because they brought over Red Death from Dark Knight's Metal and have basically this man. Well, here it is. For whatever reason, she is Red Death. For whatever reason, she is Red Death. Take that. Yeah, take that how you wanna. So speaking of rats, A Plague's Tale series slaps. It really does. It's very good, very good. Car, he said, I'm done. I'm gonna take it down. But yeah, Javicia Leslie was Red Death for a little bit. It was a thing, and yep, that happened. But all that was to say, yeah, I don't think so. Next up, and we can talk about this one real quick because it's not really a whole heap of a lot there. The Flash is going to be bringing Black Flash to the DCU, or I guess technically the DCEU, because this movie.
So I guess that's going to be Javicia Lily too, huh?
Maybe, who knows? At this point, hard to say. But no, the reason we know, for those who know what I'm talking about, Black Flash is a character who is, for all intents and purposes, the personification of death in the Speed Force. The method of which, when a speedster dies, or it is their time to die, supposedly, the Black Flash is the one who comes to claim their essence and bring it back into the Speed Force. We've seen this depicted on we've seen this depicted in multiple places. I would say probably the one that people will likely remember the most is on The Flash. There was an episode with the Black Flash, which oddly enough, if I'm not mistaken, in the CW series was Professor Zoom or Hunter Zolomon or whatever, after he broke off in season 2. But he also reappeared in Legends of Tomorrow, which I actually thought was a better usage of that particular character. But apparently some toy leaks have happened, and those toy leaks have revealed a character called Dark Flash. And while they're going with dark as opposed to black, I think this is just their I think this is just their way of doing it without doing it. No, like, we can't call him Black Flash no more. We gotta call him Dark Flash.
Team, why can't we call him Black Flash? Because you're gonna offend the Dark Flash. Okay, Dark Flash. We'll do Dark Flash.
Well, and oddly enough, will probably just be an excuse for Ezra Miller to keep going. Man, look.
What?
I don't even know, man. This movie has too much stuff going on. Can I just say that? This movie got too much. We got I mean, I know it's supposed to be Flashpoint.
What I was worried about in this Flash movie.
Look, honestly,
Ryan Reynolds was calling Cable all kinds of races for killing Black Tom. Y'all ain't worried about nothing else Ezra Miller has done around here, but nope, can't put black in there.
Bad news, man. It's bad news. Get it out of here. You know, but it's funny you brought up Black Tom, Carter.
Oh my goodness.
It is. It's actually quite fortuitous you brought, because you know what? You just in a roundabout way helped us move on.
Sweet.
To our next segment. Because actor Jack Casey is going to be coming to the Hellboy reboot. For those of you wondering why I said that, why I'm saying, oh, that was such a good segue, bringing up Black Tom Cassidy. This is Jack Casey right here. And for those who may or may not remember, he was also the same guy who played Black Tom
now,
in
which doctor?
That Deadpool movie.
Which doctor got you in the chat? He said, speaking of Black Tom, Hellboy.
Dance me.
So the picture you sent me of this brother, I was scrolling, but I was scrolling too quick. I thought that was what's the boy's name from Drive?
You thought it was Ryan Gosling, didn't you?
I thought it was Ryan Gosling because I was scrolling too quick, and it was a black and white picture. I said, damn, Ryan Gosling doing what?
I mean, this is the guy you hire if you can't get Ryan Gosling. Let's be fair. But I like him as an actor. Some of you may only remember him from Deadpool, where he played Black Tom Cassidy. My first exposure to Jack Casey was actually in The Strain. He played Bolivar.
Ew.
He was one of the first people to be turned into they're technically not vampires. They're called Strigoi. But Strigoi is just another way of... Yeah, that's still him. He also played the Master in that show for a brief moment as well. He's a very good character actor. So the idea of him being Hellboy in this new rebooted movie is not that far out of the spectrum of possibility for me, if I'm being brutally honest.
I didn't mind being Hellboy.
Hopper?
I didn't mind David Harbour at all. The problem with that movie, I don't believe, was him. The movie just had a shitty script.
Well, and that's something I'm glad you brought up. So that's kind of why I want to talk about this, because this news actually got announced weeks ago, but I just didn't really feel it was enough to talk about.
Okay.
But we got the latest news of what is intended to be a new trilogy of Hellboy movies. Mm-hmm. It's going to start with Hellboy: The Crooked Man. It is going to be the first Hellboy movie, of which there have been 3 so far. To be written, or in this case, co-written by Hellboy creator Mike Mignola. So Mike Mignola, the guy behind Hellboy, is going to be involved with the script. I believe they're going to be co-writing it with the director of the movie, which this is where I think some eyes are going to be rolling. Brian Taylor, who some of you are not familiar with Brian Taylor, your mileage with him will probably vary. He was responsible for co-directing both Crank and Crank High Voltage.
Okay.
He also directed Gerard Butler's movie, Gamer.
Okay.
And he also directed the TV series Happy, which was based on the Image comic.
Yeah, that was Morrison's comic. I watched that first season. It had had old boy from Law and Order SVU on it.
Was Chris Maloney.
Thank you.
But he also directed Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. That's why I said your mileage with him is going to vary depending on how you feel about it.
You named both Crank movies, Gamer, Happy, and Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
No, not at all. I'm just saying, like, your mileage will vary based on how you feel about those movies. Like, I know some people love Crank, some people hate it. Some people think it's stupid, some people think it's fun, some people think it's both.
It was a video game mission and movie.
Dude, that movie is basically Grand Theft Auto with the cheats turned on. Like, that's your Grand Theft Auto movie right there. That's Grand Theft Auto with all the cheats turned up.
The first one was better than the second one, but
100%.
I wouldn't mind watching Crank again. But so I think I got your ass, but I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna ask this question.
Okay.
Where are you at with this? Since we got Mike Mignola and we got the brother who did Crank and all those, where are you at with this right now? Since we got Mike Mignola behind the camera.
I don't know whether it's going to change anything, but I don't think it can hurt to have him on it. I will definitely say there's some good things for this movie in store. Like, well, this is going to sound terrible. For one, low expectations. Because people are going to go into this not really expecting it to be good. That can, while it seems like it could hurt a movie, it can actually help sometimes.
Yeah.
The movie is going to be rated R, which technically is not a first because the 2019 Hellboy we were just talking about was R-rated. It just wasn't.
A shitty script.
It was, me personally, I didn't hate the movie. I did think it had some problems. It's not perfect. I don't hate the movie. I actually enjoyed it, but it does suffer. And I'm gonna tell you, my issue with the script, I don't know if they're the same as yours. My issue with the script has nothing so much to do with the quality of the script, so much as it retreads a lot of ground from the first movie. It retreads the using Hellboy as a weapon of mass destruction to bring on the apocalypse and all this other stuff. It retreads the ground of the dying mentor. It retreads the ground of a lot of things, which I didn't think needed to be retread. I'm like, dude, just like, honestly, instead of making a reboot, I felt they could have just made a sequel and been done with it. And that way they could have just moved on and told new stories. Or treat it like James Bond. That's what I kind of feel like is the best thing you can do with superhero movies sometimes, or comic book movies. that you have spanned a long time. Like, just get different actors, and you could just say, hey, time has moved on, or I think people are smart enough to just go with it. But they said the reason why I'm interested in this is because the plot, while it has not been fully revealed, it does involve the old folk tale of the Crooked Man. And it has been said by both Taylor and Mignola that this movie is going to be a folk horror film.
Yeah.
And that they're going to lean very heavily into the horror, and that the R-rated nature of the film, it will not be R-rated just for R-rated sake. That they're going to do everything in their power to earn it, not by just throwing in a bunch of fart jokes and crude humor and cursing a lot and having a lot of gore, but also making it meaningful is their aim. And while we don't really see a lot of folk horror these days, I think we see it probably more now than we used to. This movie could easily end up being very similar to another favorite film of mine called The Hallow, which came out in 2015. It was a movie about a newborn child that is stolen from his family by a pack of fairies. And the fairies are not the happy, sparkly, sprinkly rainbows and sunshine kind. They're like the classic folktale fairies that are ugly and villainous and monstrous and have nothing but bad intentions for normal people. So yeah, I could easily see this being a good thing. I think Jack Casey could be a good Hellboy. He's a good actor. I think he's solid. I don't think he was given very much to do in Deadpool 2, so if that's your only experiences with him as an actor, I say go watch The Strain. He's actually really good in it. Even though he doesn't show up a lot at first, he actually does show he has the capacity to act when given the opportunity.
Okay, so I'll say this.
Go ahead.
And I made sure to look this up while you were giving your reasons. And anyone who says, well, this one's really going to be good because Mike Mignola had a lot to do. Here's the thing. Mike Mignola helped on the script for the last one.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So you got to put that into the equation in this instance. So his first swing at bat, even the person who's been writing it, was not the best. So you got to put that into consideration. And I think getting someone, and I've said this before with other properties, just because you're getting told what this person who's behind the camera, their previous works, when you're told these things, that is not an indication on the movie that you're going to get.
Small correction.
Okay.
His credit as a writer is only because he helped create Hellboy.
On what?
On that last one.
Okay.
He wasn't actively involved in the script writing.
So anytime like you hear Crank 2, you hear Gamer, you hear Happy, you hear things like that, that is not indicative of what we're going to see in this Hellboy movie, excuse me. One of the biggest examples I like to give people is the Joker film. Because the person who worked on the Joker film was coming from 3 Hangover sequels. And then the Joker. So there's no telling what kind of Hellboy movie we're going to get. I will read The Crooked Man when we're done with this. So I could see basically what they're working with. I'm hoping this opportunity that he gets on this film is better than the last one. But at the same time, I'm still wondering why they just won't go like the easy money route, because now because of the last film, I think people's expectations and good faith might be diminishing a little bit. So I'm really confused as to why they just don't go the safe and easy, this is gonna get money route, and just hit up Ron Perlman or hit up Guillermo del Toro and just do that third movie that they have both been ready and wanting to do. So it's really confusing that they're trying to go this route again. No harm, no foul. If this is what they want to do or they want to go a different route, then you could do that. But like I said, I'm hopeful because I think there was something there with that last one. It just didn't really work out. But
I thought David Harbour was good. I thought he was good as Hellboy.
I like David Harbour as Hellboy.
Yeah, he was good.
So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for this one.
Yeah, I also like that they used other characters, from the BPRD other than just the ones we had already seen before. I thought that was cool. And they leaned more into the supernatural stuff that goes on as opposed to just the demonic stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not gonna see it or that I'm not. I mean, it has my attention. I don't think that it's I don't think it's gonna be the end all be all or even the definitive Hellboy. I think at the very least it could maybe be entertaining.
Okay.
Maybe.
See, I was ready. I was ready for you.
What?
Because if you got giddy about this because Mike Mignola was involved, but you couldn't put some respect on Todd McFarlane being involved with Spawn, I was gonna get on your ass, boy.
Well, I mean, Todd McFarlane being involved doesn't necessarily guarantee it's gonna be a good movie either. Honestly,
that movie don't even fucking exist as far as I'm concerned. I was just ready to.
Well,
that one.
The reason why I say that is because oftentimes when they do. Not every time, because once again, I gesture to Sin City. Frank Miller co-wrote the script for Sin City, which technically he didn't even really have to, because all they did was just word for word the comic. But in the case of Mike Mignola, I'm willing to give him a shot. I mean, we're kind of reaching that point with a lot of some of the, I guess, cult comics that are getting comic book adaptations now. Or movie adaptations, because the Crow reboot that has been in development hell for I don't know how long.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, like the one at one point in time was supposed to have Jason Momoa starring in it.
Goodness,
that is no longer the case. But was it James O'Barr, I believe, is the guy who created the Crow, and I believe he actually is involved with this one, which is a first, because he was not involved in the script writing for the first one, nor City of Angels, nor The Crow Salvation, nor the TV show City of Angels, or I forget the name of the fourth one, the fourth movie.
The one with Kirsten Dunst or something?
What was that?
Was that the one with Kirsten Dunst or something?
Oh man, maybe. I don't know. There was one that had Edward Furlong as the Crow. That's all I remember. That was the fourth movie. It had David Boreanaz as the bad guy, and Tito Ortiz was one of his henchmen. It was awful, and the whole time the Crow, I'm not gonna let y'all get off scot-free on this one.
That sounds so nasty.
I'm not gonna let y'all get off the hook with this one. Dennis Hopper, Tara Reid, David Boreanaz, and Tito Ortiz, if I'm not mistaken, were the bad guys in this. Matter of fact, here, hold on, wait. Open image and new tab. Here we go. I want y'all to see this bullshit. Look at that. That dude looks so upset to be in this movie. Oh, but like a lot of the time he just came off looking like Edward Scissorhands. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm hardcore Edward Scissorhands with no scissors for hands." But yeah, that's another story altogether. But yeah, as far as the Hellboy reboot goes, who knows? But let's get to our last piece of news, and then we can move on to our recommended reads for the week. We have got the return, Carter, of Battle Chasers.
I heard about this.
Battle Chasers is back, baby. They're back. For those, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna show some age here. I'll put it that way. Some of you may or may not even remember Battle Chasers. It's a comic that I personally feel like you kind of had to, when I was joking earlier about Harry Potter, you kind of just had to be there. You couldn't come into Battle Chasers late. But this was
legit had to be there. This was 98.
Yeah, 98. Joe Radd Herrera was the writer and artist for this book, and it was an amazing comic. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now. But this is the comic right here. It was an amazing comic. Battle Chasers. Great art, great story. It was basically like a D&D story come to life, set in a world where there was technology, but not necessarily like high technology. It was mostly like a mixture of magic and technology, which I thought was really awesome.
Anyone that's a fan of this book, I think you all at this point have the right, because I don't really like this ego that a lot of comic readers have when they try to rush someone to come out with something. Like, let these people take their time to come out with a product. Like, who the fuck are you to try to rush something because you want it when you want it? But I think this is one of those rare moments where I think you all have the approval of the vast majority, since Battle Chasers is finally coming back with issue number 10. Mm-hmm. But issue number 9 came out in 2001.
Yep.
I think you I think literally each and every one of you have the right to say, fucking finally, dude. I think you all can just say that and there will be no problems.
No, not at all. I will even go as far as to say, and this is something that I've often said about the series, is this book used to be late all the time. Like, I want to put it in perspective for you, Carter. Do you know when issue number... Okay, so you pointed out the issue number 9 came out when? 2001?
2001.
Do you know when issue number 1 came out?
98.
Yes. Do you know when issue number 6 came out?
No.
99.
See...
And it was almost a year between issue 6 and 7. And it was almost a year. It was like several months between 7 and 8 and several months between 8 and 9. This was back in the heyday of Image Comics. And yes, Calibretto's design was a freaking one.
Witch Dr. Sun saying, shit, I thought Saga was back.
Yeah, no, dude. And here's the thing. Battle Chasers only had 9 issues.
9 issues.
No. And I want to throw you one better. You want to know why those issues, the 6, 7, 8, and 9 did come out? Because half the issue was only drawn by Joe Radd. They brought in someone else to draw the rest of the issue because he was taking his sweet ass time drawing it, because he was too busy playing video games. I don't know if that's really the case, but he did wound up founding a video game studio, so clearly video games was his passion. Another thing too is he also, now to be fair, this did pay off because Battle Chasers, the Night War video game did come out, which I backed on Kickstarter because I believed in the project. And I never finished the game. I need to finish it. But it's by the same studio that made League of Legends, The Ruined King.
Okay.
Yeah, same studio.
I have that on my Switch, so I don't know, dog.
Like I said, but Battle Chasers in of itself, fantastic game. It's in the same art style as the comic, but no,
you'll like Ruined King then because it's the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah, that's why, like, I was like, yeah, no, the Ruined King has been on my short list of games to play for I think I own it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah,
like I own it, just haven't played it. And And I think I did buy it for the Switch. I can't remember. Or no, I think I bought it for PC because I think I remember you telling me something about the Switch version.
Yeah, it was not optimized. Like,
yeah,
well,
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's one of the. I say again, I think literally all of you can cuss him the hell out. Like, my goodness. And I think one of the, and I'm gonna ask you this as well. The longest book before Saga that I've ever had to wait on was Sandman Overture. Which was a prequel book that he did for Sandman. And that took almost 2 years for 6 issues.
Ugh, gross.
Issue number 1 came out 2013. I think issue number 6, to cap everything off, finally came out like the end of 2014.
Damn. Yeah, nah, see, that's... Dude, I remember, here's the funny thing about Battle Chasers, though. Battle Chasers was a book that was consistently late and always between issues, yet was always in Wizard's top 10.
Damn.
Like, even when it hadn't had a book out in a year, it was still in Wizard's top 10. Back when Wizard magazine was a thing, if that tells you anything.
Y'all, if y'all don't know about that, boy, we are old. We are old.
Very.
What was a book that you waited on to like this extent?
Other than Battle Chasers?
Yes. Or is nothing topping this?
Nothing really top. I mean, honestly, Saga is the closest, but like I was to put y'all at ease. I was actively reading Battle Chasers from the go.
Yeah. Ooh.
If that tells you anything. Actively reading Battle Chasers from the word go. I used to have the foil #1 issue. Like that.
To have him start up a game company, release games, multiple games, based on one of which was based on that property, and you still don't finish that book, bro.
Yeah, that says a lot. Well, no, the thing is, I think I remember during the Kickstarter, one of the promises was that they would put out issue 10 finally, and it still is only just now,
and it never came out. I would give you all permission to. I think you all could at least key his car one time. I think you all could have keyed that brother's car from 2001 to 2023. Just one time.
100%.
Put some sugar in his tank. Just one time. Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, now, one thing I do want to point out, too, for those who are wondering who is going to be providing art for this, Joe is not going to be providing art for this outside of maybe covers.
Okay.
He's going to be doing, I think he'll probably provide some art for it, but I think he's going to be providing the story more than anything else. Ludo Lullaby is going to be doing the art for the book. Matter of fact, we even have, I think we even have some of the art right here, which looks pretty awesome. I love how they tried to make sure to remind folks that Red Monica was thick as all get out in some of this promo work, but they're like, no, we this is what y'all came here for, right? This is what you came here for.
You know what? You're right. Maybe King, his car put sugar in his tank was a bit much. Just send Brian Hitch to him with some clippers. I hear you, Juggernaut. Send Brian Hitch to that man with some clippers.
Y'all is out of pocket, man. He don't need, actually he might deserve it.
From 2001 to 2023, yeah, he gets the clippers with no apron, so the hair don't get on his. No, let it all get on his clothes.
Let it all get on. No powder. He don't get no powder. Nope. Nothing. Like nothing.
He don't get the brush to get it off his neck. Just get out of my seat.
Look, they ain't putting the drape over him. No wrap around his neck. No nothing. This man's gonna just walk out the house looking like somebody done got a hold of him. But I will definitely say, I like what they're going for here. I mean, once again, these are all, for the most part, this looks like Battle Chasers. It looks like Battle Chasers. Smells, I mean, we can't really smell it, but it smells like Battle Chasers. So I'm in for it. I'm in for it 100%. Go ahead.
This is going to be the question that really sends it over the top for me.
Okay.
If this is issue 10 that you Battle Chasers fans are finally getting, was this supposed to be an ongoing or a miniseries?
It was supposed to be an ongoing.
Jesus Christ.
It was supposed to be an ongoing series.
Over with. When 10 come, nah, dog, you got to put the sugar in the tank. Nope, you got to. That is ridiculous, man.
And did you know there's also supposed to be a television series coming out? They had a television series in the works before.
We will be good and dead when that shit comes out, dog. If this is 30 and 40, we're gonna be gone, dog.
Look, let me tell you something. Episode 1 will come out next year. Episode 2 will come out in 2054.
Episode 2 gonna come out when your daughter is your age doing Blerd Cave. You hear me?
Dude, oh my God. That would be... yeah, no, but no, basically what's supposed to... the information on this is kind of scarce, but basically what it says is Battle Chasers number 10 will begin a brand new story arc, bringing fans back into the steampunk-inflected realm that they were first introduced to over 2 decades ago. Promises fans an action-packed new story with art by game and comic sensation Lullaby. In this new story arc titled Martial Law, readers are introduced to the bloody tale of retired swordsman Garrison and the fugitive Red Monica as they face off against Maestro's gang of supernatural killers, the Martial Paladins. That's the setup here. Joe Mad had this to say. Says, I've been really moved over the years by the level of excitement Battle Chasers still generates decades after its original release. With the success of the Battle Chasers game, Night War, and a TV show in the works, which I brought up just a moment ago. This was announced back in 2021. But they said, it felt like the perfect time to drop some new books. Working with these characters again has healed some part of my soul, and Ludo's artwork is so incredible. I can't wait for readers to get their hands on it.
It feels like a good time to release some books. I would punch him in his shit. After the 20 plus years y'all been waiting, I would punch him clear in the face. Yes. And I'm somebody who was real quick to defend Dan Slott. I couldn't even go, by the way. Traffic was horrible, and he was only there for an hour, and that line was long as shit when I saw it.
Oh, damn. It was that bad?
It was horrible. I was fucking pissed. It was going to take me 2 hours to get there because of traffic. I fucking hate Los Angeles. But I came to the defense of Dan Slott when people were sending death threats and all this other nonsense because of Superior Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
But for 20 plus years, yeah, this seems like time now.
Carter, do you want to know what the last thing we saw at the end of Battle Chasers number 9?
What's that? To Blerd Cave continue to be continued. Dude.
Now, to be fair, the pages that I was showing off earlier, they seem to lead directly into this. Like this leads directly into those pages. So I mean, they are clearly going to continue the story. It's not just, I mean, it is a new story arc, but it is also going to clearly be continuing everything that we saw before. But just imagine, and here I'm going to enhance. Right here. Let me de-enhance. This right here, or actually, let's bring it back out some. This right here was the last thing we saw over 20 years ago. To be continued. Dude, imagine if you were somebody who's like imagine if someone put a gun to your head and said, if the new issue, if Battle Chasers 10 don't come out on time this month, I'm killing you. You'd have to kill yourself.
Like, and you know what? It's crazy. That's messed up. You all have to deal with that. But to have the nerve to say, nah, it seems like a good time to release some books. No. Stop. You bitch made punk. No.
I'd be like, stop.
You don't get to troll or joke. Come on, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, no. You deserve
that gets your tires slashed.
You deserve a whole ass whipping. But no, I mean, I used to love this series so much because I was, and I still am, a huge fan of Joe Mad's art style. Like, I loved his art style to the point that, like, I even used to copy it when I used to draw myself. Like, not directly one-to-one, but, like, that's how I used to draw, when I did. Like, I used to draw with a very, like, similar style. And, yeah, just, it's crazy to it's crazy to think about. Just, like, it's like, oh.
This is going to be very dark, what I'm about to say.
Go
but
ahead.
I remember I saw this. I was reading this story, and then this woman had gotten interviewed. It was this mother and her son. The son had just met his father for the first time. Mm-hmm. I think he was like 23 or 24 or something like that. Come to find out, the mom had been keeping the son away from the dad because the dad had cheated years ago to get back at the dad. She kept the dad away from his son, made up all these stories about him that weren't true, this, that, and third. And they finally meet, the son and the dad. And the woman was interviewed, and they said, well, why did you think now, why'd you finally let him meet his dad after 20 plus years? And she looked with a straight face and just goes, I mean, yeah, this felt like a good time for him to finally meet him. At 24, how fuck that is, bro? That's what Joe Mad just did to y'all, bro.
Yeah, it seemed like time was right.
You know how fuck that is?
Oh my god. Oh
that is
my god.
Wild. That is wild.
Shameful. Absolutely shameful.
Joe, man, what's wrong? Yeah, you got to get the hitch clips on that one, dog.
Oh,
you
no,
got to get hitch clippers on that one, dog.
100%.
That is wild.
Here, let's get we have some super chats going back a little bit. Let's address these. We got one from LP3 with the $10. Says, just wondering what you guys thought of Lazarus Planet event. And before the show ends, may we see that Confederate elbow on T'Challa one more time?
That bullshit came out this week.
It did. I decided to, when I did my video for it, I decided to remind people what was going on. But then here we go right here. Actually, let's do it like this. Bam, there you go. I still love how Gambit is queuing up the 8-ball, and it looked like it's about to head straight to T'Challa's nuts. Like the trajectory on it, it looks like it, because it don't look like it's gonna go to his forehead like the elbow is. Like it's going down south.
All lives matter, sugar.
Look, look, this is your black life does not matter, mon ami. That's what they hit his ass with. But no, I'm not gonna say I started it. Shit. I think I read one issue of Lazarus Planet, and not for lack of quality, I just didn't get around to it.
The Jim Crow elbow.
God damn. The Jim Crow elbow. I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all. Y'all ain't shit. Look, dude, could you even just imagine? The Jim Crow elbow. I'm done with y'all. I am so done with y'all. Oh my god. We also got Score Wolf says with a $5 super chat, I think if DC did a live action Jon Stewart, he would be the front runner and face of the DCU. I don't disagree. I feel like more people are familiar with Jon because of Justice League, the animated series, Justice League Unlimited. I feel like he would just blend right in.
Well, they tried to make a Green Lantern in the Arrowverse. They had him sprinkled into every single solitary Arrowverse show for some years after he had the ring in his possession, and then he said no and he threw it into the abyss.
Yeah,
this is just me reminding you all that shit with Diggle was garbage.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it could have been great if they leaned into it, but it was like they did all that build up and all that teasing and then said, nah. And I think they still had him show up on other shows even after that. Anyway, we also got another here from Nick D with the 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Dun, 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 dun. The super chat says, yo, got here late. I work nights and I just woke up. Carter, I have a gift for you. Do y'all have a P.O. box or something that I can send it to? The only socials I have are my Facebook. Carter?
That's going to be very fucked up what I say. I don't really trust y'all since y'all like doing that 1999 stuff so damn much. So I'd much rather you send it to Ernie first so he can just overlook it. Just in case it might be something I don't need. I'd rather Ernie be the guinea pig first.
Look, I don't know if you want to do that because I literally ordered new tags in October and just got them yesterday. So you never know. But then again, I guess that was more on the county. I think that was more on like the city and the county than it was on the United States Postal Service. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, I'll tell you what. Nick D. Shoot me a message. I'll try to remember to check my Facebook.
But Cedric Cortez, yes, Diggle was supposed to be a Green Lantern. At the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, he found the ring, and then he just went to several different shows because he opened it one time, but he couldn't open it anymore. But anytime he was away from the ring, he kept hearing different thoughts in his head. Then he ended up going to Eobard Thawne to help open it, and then he finally opened it. He saw all of the pressure that was going to be put on him for putting on that ring and being space policeman, and he said, no, I'd rather be with my family, and then he threw it into the shadow realm. Now mind you, this was some shit I just gave it to you very quickly, but this is something that was sprinkled into several of the Arrowverse shows after Arrow itself had gotten kaput. He was on other ones with these random ass headaches, and then he'd have this green eye shit over his face, so you knew it had to be something with the ring. And then they just said no.
Well, now, I'll throw you one better though. They had been teasing that he was actually Jon Stewart for some years, because like I think there was one episode, I can't remember the what season it was, but it was like early on, like it had to be like season 3, I think maybe, where they basically implied his last name wasn't really Diggle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, fast forward another 2 or 3 seasons where they brought on Ernie Hudson to be his dad, and come to find out his last name was Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, yep, there you go. That.
And again, I gave you all that very quickly. That was sprinkled into other shows.
It was in Supergirl
for some
Flash,
years.
Yeah.
This was like 4 or 5 years of just build up, and then he said, I don't want it. No, and threw it in the shadow realm.
That'll get some sugar put in your tank. That is Brian Hitch, where you at? Get a hold, go find this man. Or at the very least, whoever wrote that. And put a gun to his head and made him do it. David Ramsey's head. I think maybe, did he direct that episode that he did that? Because I know he started directing a lot of the Arrowverse shows after a while. But I know he was writing for them sometimes, and he was occasionally directing. But who knows? That said, let's move on to our recommendations for the week. You know what? Since it came in
on
after
that damn show. Ooh.
Black Panther, The Man Without Fear, the complete collection. I highly recommend it. This is some of the best Black Panther you will read. And yes.
That Francavilla art is fire, boy.
Oh yeah, no, this is This is A1 right here. This is top. This right here is top shelf T'Challa. But yeah, this is woo. Look here. Let me read off what all's included here. We got Black Panther, The Man Without Fear, number 513 through 523. We also got Black Panther, The Most Dangerous Man Alive, number 523.1. And then we also got 524 through 529. But yeah, this is fantastic. This is a fantastic book, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If for no other reason, you get to see. Let me see if I can actually find where they throw down in here. That Black Panther versus Kraven the Hunter fight that a lot of people wanted to see. It's in here. It is in here. Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. They also put him up against some new villains that I would say are probably some of the more interesting villains I think T'Challa has gone against. Here it is. Wait. But no, just the idea of T'Challa and Kraven going at it is just fantastic. This is them chasing each other down. Very Captain America Civil War style. Really awesome stuff. It's a very good series. And for those that don't know what the premise is, it takes place immediately after Daredevil Shadowland. Matt is trying to get his head right as Daredevil, and T'Challa is in the middle of what is, for all intents and purposes, an upcoming divorce from Storm, and he's trying to get his head right, and he decides to come to Hell's Kitchen and protect it in the wake of Matt stepping down, and it's great. It's fantastic. I've probably recommended it at least 2 or 3 times prior, but I am recommending it yet again because it's that good. Carter, what is your recommended?
Human Target number 12. The final issue came out, and I'm sad.
It did drop. Yeah, I need to actually get back and read that.
That entire series from Tom King was good. Greg Smallwood's art was just fucking immaculate. I'm sad because it ended, and I'm also sad because of the ending, but the book was very serious, and it didn't try to like do some we gotta make the crowd go home happy kind of deal. But it was also very slick, something they did at the end. I tweeted out about it. I can't recommend this series enough. If you were people that are sick of seeing Tom King when it comes to like Batman and Batman, Catwoman and stuff like that, I can assure you this goes in the win column of Tom King stuff. Over there with Omega Men, Vision, this goes over there. So I cannot stress to you how good this book was. Final issue came out this week, and like I said, I'm sad it's over.
Well, I think that is as strong an endorsement as any.
That's probably going to be book of the year for me. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, Human Target?
Mm-hmm.
I did not mean to close that. Oh, well. I closed the wrong window. Oh, well. We'll make it work. Let's go ahead and jump into our questions from the Discord. Let's see what we got here. Masterful 4179 says, I know a lot of people hate on John Ridley's writing for his Black Panther run. Do you have thoughts on his DC Comics GCPD The Blue Wall miniseries? Actually, I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but I've heard some things about it. I'll have to add it to the list. The only DC book of his I've been reading is I Am Batman. But I would imagine if the quality of writing is the same as I Am Batman, I will very likely enjoy it. I feel like John really is one of those writers. I feel like you're either going to love it or hate it, whatever it is he does, because he likes to put up a mirror to things. And he likes to put characters in uncomfortable positions and make them fight their way out of it. And that's kind of what he's done with that. That's basically what he's done with Black Panther. Is technically what he's also done with Jace as Batman. But Jace's situation was less so himself and him being in a situation, but more like his entire family being put in an uncomfortable situation. Like having to operate as Batman in Gotham when his own mother and father are actively trying to arrest him. Granted, they don't know he's Batman. Stuff like that. But I will add his GCPD to my list and check it out. And depending on how far I can get, maybe I'll talk about it. Not next week, because next week I will be on a whole cruise ship. There will be no Blerd Cave next week. Thought I should bring that up. Next week will be nothing. I don't know. I thought about maybe putting up something, like maybe doing a little short something, that we put up later. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to. We'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Enjoy your family time, my brother. You most certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
Sip your mimosa. Put your baby in another room. Tell her if she hear any loud noises, y'all just wrestling. And enjoy yourself.
That is a conversation we actually had to have not that long ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Let's just say the door wasn't locked one night.
I just started thinking about Family Guy. It's all right, Lois. Stewie will just think I'm hurting you.
That was kind of what came up. But yeah, we had to have that uncomfortable
danger.
We had to have that uncomfortable conversation. But anyway, the homie Melvin says, back at it like I left something with another question. I noticed in the recent Creed 3 movie, Michael B. Jordan used a lot of references to a popular anime called Hajime no Ippo throughout the movie. Two-part question. What are some other movies that have used anime styles in their films? And with a new generation of directors, producers, and writers are looking at the next wave of anime and or video game adaptations, are we looking at the next wave of anime and or video game adaptations being in better hands? Thanks for answering my question. And Carter, go with the slow cooker. You can cook some damn good tender ribs and chicken. I tried it, and it's amazing.
Have you seen Creed 3 yet?
I have not seen it, but I have heard about the Dragon Ball Z fight scene that's at the end of it.
So it's not really it's not the whole scene. It's just certain shot that and like he brought up Hajime no Ippo, and like one of the characters in the movie, he does a fucking Dempsey roll. Michael B. Jordan is wearing red trunks, but the red trunks, they look just like the jacket that the brother wore in Akira.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And so they do a lot of that. When it comes to other films that have used anime styles,
Black Swan.
The ballerina movie? Okay.
They, so... Some of you may or may not know this. But there was a let me try this. Actually, I didn't think about doing it this way. There we go. Bam. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so in Black Swan, they what's the best way to word this? So basically, Darren Aronofsky, he pretty much bought the rights to an anime called Perfect Blue.
Okay.
And a lot of people thought he was going to do a live action adaptation of Perfect Blue, which, to be fair, Perfect Blue, while the general like setup and plot of Perfect Blue isn't shot for shot, word for word, what's the best way to put it? The movie isn't that. Black Swan itself is not that. But if those don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about here. Perfect Blue. The general idea of Black Swan is very similar. Very similar. And there's even some scenes wholesale lifted from Perfect Blue and put into Black Swan. And the general idea is that Darren Aronofsky bought the rights to Perfect Blue just so he could use those shots without catching any legal heat. That's long been the idea.
I didn't know that.
Which I thought was actually pretty cool. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I'm also kind of glad that, you know, he didn't do a Perfect Blue live action adaptation, because honestly, the anime is perfectly fine. I always assume a lot of people have never seen Perfect Blue, largely because it's not a fight anime. It's an anime about a woman who used to be a pop star, like a music idol in Japan, and decides that she wants to make the transition to being an actor, and how she goes into that new avenue with varying degrees of results, and that she has a super fan who is stalking her. That's a gross oversimplification of the plot, but like it's not a I must charge up all my power. You know, it's not.
It's very unnecessary.
It's not that kind of an anime. It's very much just it's an anime that could literally be any other movie. Yeah, which is honestly how I like anime sometimes. I like sometimes when it could literally just be anything. Let's see.
The Nomad with the super chat.
Oh.
Birthday weekend. Oh shit. Happy birthday.
Oh shit. With the wait here and look, and on his birthday decided to hit us for max damage. Said and thank you. Says birthday weekend, and thank you to all of you that reached out via social media. Thank you so much. By the way, happy birthday. I didn't even know. So now I know. I have to mark that on the calendar. But yeah, dude, happy birthday, and I hope you are chilling. Please and thank you. I hope you were chilling, man. Put your feet up. But I will definitely say, I don't know, Carter, do you have one other than Creed?
No, honestly, I couldn't think of anyone. I didn't know Black Swan was a thing, to be honest with you.
Yep. If you ever go back, I know someone on YouTube has done a comparison or something. But if you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll be like, There's a bathtub scene that's literally wholesale lifted out of Perfect Blue. But no. What else we got here? We have also got this is Jay Dizzle here. Says, hello, brothers. I really like the ending of the Xeno arc in this week's X-Force. I actually thought the sleeper elements in Human Governments could have been something delved into a lot more, but I was glad they finished the story, LOL. That said, I'm wondering, what impact do y'all think the real-life Russia-Ukraine war possibly changed Percy's plans? Mikhail has been off the board for a minute, and he was a close ally of Xeno. Could it be that a focus on Russian aggression became a no-no, that Percy perhaps had to make some changes as a result, including all but dropping the Colossus thing? Okay, so here's what I think happened. I think that is definitely why Mikhail has not been featured very much, but I will say this. He has been slyly dropping the hints. They've not dropped the Chronicler. I think it's something that we will see more of here coming up, because Colossus is joining the team next issue. Next issue, both him and Laura Kinney will be on the team.
Okay, I did see that right.
They will both be on the team. So I think, and not to mention the last time we saw Colossus, that was the last time we got a message from the Chronicler. And it's been made pretty clear that the Chronicler got caught trying to get a message to Krakoa.
I thought that was Colossus himself trying to fight it.
No. Well, I mean, yes, there was that.
Mm-hmm.
There was that, but if you go to the data page, there's a data page in that issue. And like they often do with the Chronicler, whenever the Chronicler pops up for one reason or another, the thing that they did as far as here it is right here. I got it right here. This data page, you see, like, as you read it, the Chronicler is trying to get Colossus to snitch. And, like, you see, but right here, you see in the blood, what's scratched out is he says he told her everything then. And by everything, Colossus, what he meant is Colossus is going to tell Domino the whole story about how he had her memory wiped, about how he's being controlled, the whole nine. Yeah, because right here, he says he told her about Kayla, the wife that he had that he killed, and Mikhail Rasputin, how sorry he was about everything, and you see everything get scratched out, and then comes back and says, when she asked him about his intentions, sneaking into her biome, leaving such a horrid, tortured piece of art behind, he denied all responsibility. That was ultimately what that was what was there to let you know that they're not done, that the Chronicler got caught. He got caught trying to snitch. And so yeah, we will definitely be seeing all of that upcoming here soon with X-Force. Over the next few issues of X-Force, I think we will definitely see some changes there. Prince of Apathy says the Flash wrapped shooting. Will we ever see something like the Berlanti-verse again? He's talking about the CW series.
Yeah, he's talking about CW, yeah.
Maybe. I just hope in a better format. I don't think... and this is something like when people criticize Disney for having only like 6 episodes in a season, I always bring up the Netflix format, which I thought was a horrible format because... they would force 13 episodes down everyone's throats, despite the fact they only had 8 episodes worth of story to tell. And I felt The Flash was on the worst, and all the other CW shows too were on the worst end of the spectrum because they usually ran, like, I think, what's the average length of a Flash season? Let's see. Let's see how many episodes they do per season. Looks like last season was 20 episodes. Season 7 was 18. Season 6 was 19. Season 5 was 22. Yeah, they all ran about anywhere between 20 to 24 episodes a season. That's too much. That method of television, I think, is dead. I think, honestly, the best format is 8 to 10 episodes. That's the perfect sweet spot for any TV series. No TV show needs to be 20-some episodes a season unless you're like 30... like, if you're like a half-hour comedy, sure. That's fine. But if you're like a 45-minute to an hour-long, like, TV series, 10 episodes is plenty. If you can't tell your story in that time frame, I don't know what to tell you. 13 is okay if you got something solid, but I rarely see instances where 10 episodes or going beyond 10 episodes is a good idea. Like, I would be perfectly fine with Disney if they switched to like an 8 to 10 episode format, which we see is happening for Daredevil Born Again. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the 20-something episode format. I'm not. I don't know. What do you think, Carter?
I don't mind it just because, I mean, we've been saying this with, this isn't one of the first shows that have done it. A lot of shows have done this. I've gone this route. I don't know why they do it, but I mean, I don't know. I've always just been kind of to it. when it comes to us saying something like the Berlantiverse again, I don't know. I think a lot of people are kind of getting washed up in the man. Oh, this show and this show and this show and this show and this and this and this. But I think a lot of people are tending to forget there were a lot of rough spots in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lot of rough spots in there, dude.
I wouldn't even say rough spots. I would say entire, miles of bad road.
And that was actually what I was gonna say. Was that a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff you all might remember that you were like really big fans of might have been an episode in one season, or it might have been just a season, and then you're not counting the subsequent seasons that happened after that were just so.
Yeah.
I think we won't see a Berlantiverse, but I think with the way streaming and shit is like that, I think you're going to see a lot of this universe stuff again. It's just going to be on those streaming sites now instead of you having to cut it on TV.
Mm-hmm. No, I 100% agree. The last one from the Discord says, "Good evening, brothers. With all these mutant hate groups like Orcus and Xeno, will they ever become a problem big enough that other alien races will view humanity as a threat?" I mean, that's a story I would write. But I would also think the bigger story would be, would humanity start to realize maybe there's a problem?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait. Like, and to be fair, like, I remember people gave me so much flack when I called Xeno, when they originally debuted in X-Force #1, I called Xeno the Marvel equivalent, the anti-mutant equivalent of the Proud Boys. People got mad at me for that. And I was like, but it's true. They are. That's what they are. When I compared them to like other hate groups, I was like, that's what they are. But sometimes people don't like having a mirror shown up to them, showing who they really are. But I would like to believe that, maybe other alien races would see them as a threat, but I also think that humanity and maybe even other hero groups should start to recognize, oh, these guys are a problem. Like, oh, damn. This is how they acting on Maine? Okay, well, go ahead and cancel that. That's what I feel like should be happening by this point. Let's see here. Tobias Well would love that Rogue and Gambit cover. He'd have called T'Challa a darky. That's what he would have done. Real quick, we're gonna answer just a few questions from the chat because we are kind of a little over on time. As I'm gonna look through. By the way, I would say because like I said, I still haven't fully committed. I think when we come back, not because obviously we'll be taking a break this next Saturday. When we come back on the 17th or no, the 18th. When we come back on the 18th, I think we will actually test out that whole just like everyone putting their questions in the Discord. I think that might be. That I'm starting to agree with Carter. I think that might be easier because it's very difficult to zoom through. Unless, like, y'all put question in all caps before the question, it makes it very difficult to figure out what's a question and what's not. Or just a general conversation between people. But yeah, I do see some questions directly in front of me, so we'll go and get to those first. Let's see. Black Phoenix does actually pose an interesting question. This dude can write anything and make it happen, so why doesn't he just write Mikhail out of existence? I think the problem is that Mikhail is always watching him.
Mm-hmm.
Mikhail is always looking over his shoulder, so he will know. And that's the other thing, too. We also forget, in a roundabout way, Mikhail is kind of a reality warper himself. Only in his case, it's with space and, like, time. So, I mean, it would be nothing for him. Matter of fact, where he is keeping the Chronicler is in a pocket dimension. So, I mean, if he kills Mikhail, especially with Mikhail looking over his shoulder, there's a high chance that he would die too. That he wouldn't be able to get out of that situation. But, I mean, yeah, if he wrote it really quick, yeah, sure. But I think that there's a margin of time that takes place when what he writes and what happens takes place. Because he's able to undo it. Like, if he was able to write what Colossus was going to do, and Mikhail had time to beat his ass and make him scrape it out and change it, I think it's safe to say that it takes time for those things to happen. It's not like an immediate, change, like it is with oh god, what was that Inhuman Reader? The Inhuman Reader that was in the Charles Soule run on was it Charles Soule run on Daredevil? No, it was in Chip Zdarsky's run, I think. Where the Inhuman or no, was it? I don't remember. Point of the matter is, actually no, I think it was Charles Soule. It was Charles Soule. When the Inhuman Reader was reading about Mike Murdock, not realizing that it was an alias, and it made Mike Murdock real because anything Reader reads becomes reality. It's kind of one of those situations. Reader was really quick. Like his was like he reads it, boom. I think with Chronicler, he writes it. It takes some time. Bill says we'll see. This is not a question. Let's see here.
Here's one. Marcus Hill. Hey, Blerd and Carter, when do you think Thanos will come back to destroy everyone in the future? And will it become an event after, let's say, at the end of Fall of X?
Sure. I mean, I can see it. I think Thanos needs to chill for a minute because he's gotten his cheeks clapped a couple of times. The Eternals already sent him packing. And I think he might already be back somewhere else with like the whole Thor situation going on right now. I'm a little behind on Thor, but it's heavily implied that he's coming back that way. So I think if he comes back, I think keep your eyes peeled towards the Thor comics right now because the Black Infinity Stone is in fact a thing. Witch Doctor Sun says, you doing anything special for episode 200? That's the idea. I don't know how that one's gonna play out. I have to stop being lazy and reach out to some people.
Yeah, you know what they want. You know what they want.
Yeah. So we'll see. Elite X1 says, wait, this dude got the Death Note? Kind of. Look, motherfucker eating chips with he's eating chips with one hand and but sneaking a page in there so he can write on it. But yeah, no, the Chronicler is, for all intents and purposes, yeah, he's basically Light Yagami, only he can make people do whatever he wants. Do you think James Gunn would do an Outsiders movie, Black Lightning, Katana, Halo, and the others? I can see him doing that. I can easily see him, especially if he would do The Authority. I mean, why not? Though I think if I were him, I would do it Outsiders independent of Batman. That's what I would do, just because I feel like Batman's oversaturated. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, I'm not even gonna try to fight that one.
What?
Batman's oversaturated. I was gonna try to argue again, but nah, Batman's oversaturated.
Yeah, he's oversaturated. Nah. Let's be real. John the Motor here says, question. Would love to see if James Gunn will do anything with Black Lightning, Static, or Icon Icon and Rocket. I don't know if he can. Because technically they're published by DC, but I don't know what the adaptation rights are. Like, if he can actually... I don't know if he can actually, like, do anything with them. I mean, I'm sure he could, but the question is, will he? And I know that Reggie Hudlin has already said that there are already things in the works. So we know there's an animated movie that's kind of fallen off the radar. There's also the Static Shock movie, and there's also some other stuff that I think that is also on the horizon. But yeah. Let's see here. This is, YTube Noob says Black Infinity Stone as in one of the Secret Wars Infinity. Okay. Yeah, there's a new Infinity Stone, apparently. It's been brought up. So if those don't know, Donny Cates hasn't been writing Thor as of late. Someone else has been. And they're working, I believe, off some of his notes, because the whole thing with Thanos has been in the works for quite a while. Donny Cates has been teasing it for a good bit. But there was an issue. God, what was it? Oh, Lord. I don't remember exactly what. It was like a standalone issue. Like, it wasn't like a numbered issue of Thor. It was like something else. Someone else will probably be able to bring it up with perfect clarity. But basically the idea is that there's a Black Infinity Stone, and it's going to be a whole problem for somebody. Not to mention, Donald Blake is very likely, I think, about to get free if he hasn't gotten free already. And we also know that in the future, or at least the future that Thor has been having visions about, he sees this. Thanos with Thor's hammer with all the Infinity Stones in it, and he has a mysterious black gauntlet on his other hand. So yeah, this is all stuff Thor's been having premonitions about. So these are all things that are coming. But I think, yeah, as it stands currently, Thor is being written by Torunn Grønbekk, and yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, off the notes of Donny Cates. So there you go. Let's see. Bernard Chang says, question, hot tub party for episode 200. I can't fit a hot tub in here. I'm not Amaranth. Do y'all think Fall of X is setting up a Rise of X? Could be. It could be. Yeah, we only fall so that we may rise. I can see that being a thing. Like, if Fall of X comes and goes, I could easily see Fall of X leading into, like, a Rise of X or the Return of X. Yeah. Cue up the Mark Morrison. Let's see here. And Kryptonite, or Night 19 says, Blerd and Carter, I was listening to last week's episode and Hitch's hair hatred. What happened to artists Jason Fabot, Three Jokers, and Patrick Gleason, Green Lantern Corps? They're still out there doing stuff, as far as I know. Let's see. Just got a message from Gearless Joe.
I was gonna say, Gleason wrote a Spider-Man issue not too long ago.
Let's see. Huh. I did not know that. Let's see here. Wishlock says, hopefully my Blerd shirt comes soon. I ordered in January. Good Lord, sir. I hope it does too. Jesus Christ. Well, are they having issues at the printers? Jesus. Keep me updated on that, Witch Doctor son. Keep me updated on that. Did you know that Zawadi, a Wakanda member of Ulysses Bloodstone's monster hunting team, recently appeared in Spider-Man Unforgiven #1? She may be elderly, but she stabs her spear real good. I did not know that was a thing. I actually have not read Spider-Man Unforgiven #1 just yet. That's Tim Seeley right there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. We got another here. Is Donald Blake part symbiote now? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he got a symbiote.
Oh, he does?
Mm-hmm.
When was this?
Oh,
wait a minute. You know what? I'm an idiot. Was this in Thor number 29? Or not 29, but it was when Thor and Old Boy symbiote were like going up against one another. Was it around then?
Yep.
Okay. Settled.
It went down there to him.
Yep.
And
okay.
the recent
Got you.
Venom issue, you saw the thing that Thor was fighting. In the recent Venom issue, you see how that thing came to be, because the recent Venom issue is actually backward. It's all complicated and confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of backwards and forwards going on.
I'm really happy you didn't make me explain that shit to you.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I read that issue, completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
That's where my head was. We're taking a couple more questions here. It says, Jerome says, what about being a content creator has been a surprising joy and dislike for you? The joy is the interactions that I get to have with everybody, because I don't know if anyone knows this. I'm a very good people person, but I'm actually, at the same time, not a people person. So the fact that I actually get to have awesome interactions with people is really awesome. The thing that I dislike, if there's any one thing I dislike, I have had to force myself to become very used to spoiler culture. So a lot of times I don't get to read comics all the time as a regular person anymore. I get to, or even, movies and TV shows. I kind of have to experience them as someone who, I don't want to say is forced, but just has to know more than the average person going in. So that is probably the one thing I do dislike about it, but I've actually grown kind of used to it, so it's kind of like whatever. Let's see here. And then YTube Noob says, who wants to bet that Battle Chasers will finish before Cyberfrog? Yes, it probably will, because Cyberfrog, I think, was supposed to be out when, and still isn't out. Cyberfrog is the new Battle Chasers. There you go.
Never read it.
Well, you couldn't, because Cyberfrog is a Comicsgate comic, and it was on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. It's one of Ethan Van Sciver's deals. It's supposed to be the comic that's going to save the comics industry. Psych. Anyway, moving on. I think that is a good way to end the show. Carter, do you have anything you want to announce?
Nope.
Look at that, man, a few words. I love it. That's it. Let's get up out of here. And yeah, I want to say thank you, everybody, for everyone who was lurking in the chat, everyone who was chatting in the chat, the people who super chatted, the people who, came by and stopped by, just to see what the heck we were doing, and you probably left. I also want to say shout out to Judah Radd for coming on and hanging out with us at the top of the hour on the Blerd Cave. And once again, if you are coming on this late, I have pinned a link to his Kickstarter for Charon 13, The Price of Eternity, at the top of the chat. I will also go back and add a link to it for the VOD, and those of you who are listening to this, as I've stated earlier, you'll see links for it in the show notes, and everything else. So yeah, if you like that comic, or you think it's a really awesome idea, or you just want to support a creator, go check it out. Also want to say, thank you to everyone on for Earth's Mightiest subscribers, for Earth's Mightiest listeners, Earth's Mightiest patrons, for Blerd Club, for the chat that is here right now, for Carter Presents. I am the Blerd Without Fear. And Brian Hitch, you can still go to hell.
Bye.